10 minutes from first pitch here at Doran Park between the Bourne Braves and the Cotuit Kettleers here on the Kettleers Radio Network. I'm Alex Rocco, joined alongside by Joe Pratt. Adele Huffman will be with us momentarily, but also joined by writer Shane Patagna as we're just about moments away from Game 12 of the Cape Cod baseball season here in 2024, and the first time the Braves and Kettleers square off. And these are two teams that are very, very familiar with each other. Braves knocked out the Kettleers last summer in 2 games after a walk-off sac fly by Josh Kuroda Grauer. And Joe, how big of a game is this early on in the year?
Well, it's huge, not only with what happened last year and Cotuit being eliminated by Bourne at this very ball field in August, but to get back on track after losing 10-7 yesterday against Brewster, a 10-7 loss, their first in a week after snapping a 6-game winning streak. And so it was just the pitching early on. Cameron Hill couldn't find his footing in that game, and the long ball really got to the Kettleers, and that's not something that we've had to say too many times this season, as Cotuit with 14 home runs as a team that leads the Cape Cod Baseball League. Bourne, they have the worst ERA in this league, so we'll see what happens in terms of this pitching matchup today, but should be a good one here at Bourne and a lot to play for, as you mentioned.
And Joe, you mentioned Cam Hill getting the start in yesterday's game, and he just lasted 3 1/3 innings pitched, allowed 6 hits, 5 runs, struck out 5, and walked 1. But Shane threw 3 starts for Cam Hill, which is not the Hill that we were used to seeing.
Yeah, it's a tale of two seasons for Cam Hill. An 11.57 ERA through 9 1/3 innings pitched in 2024, a complete turnaround from the near perfect season he had, and as Cam Hill claimed it as last year, 1.09 ERA through 33 plus innings pitched. The pitcher of the year, got the start in the All-Star game, and was a big factor in one of the most winning seasons in Robert's tenure in Cotuit.
And Hill got the start on opening day and struggled in that game. Had a little bit of momentum in that second start, but once again yesterday just struggled with the long ball. And even yesterday, something as a whole, the Kettleers pitching staff and the bullpen that hadn't struggled in a while faced its fair share of home run balls and hits allowed to the Brewster Whitecaps. Show.
Yeah, it was. And I mean, they hit it early and often, and a big reason for Cotuit not really having any momentum in that game is that Brewster took I believe it was a 7-0 lead or 7-2 lead through the first 5 innings of that baseball game, and the Cotuit offense nothing to show for until that fifth inning. But a phenomenal bullpen performance from Brewster. It was mainly the lefty out of the bullpen, and lefties is something that Cotuit has not done a great job of hitting this season. Levi Huseman going 3 1/3 innings, holding Cotuit to just 2 hits, and that was the key in the game for Brewster because the bats were still trying to come back in the game. They put ducks on the pond. Tanner Thatch with a 3-run home run, but the game was pretty much out of reach at that point. So there were a lot of good things to draw from in that 10-7 loss that hopefully Cotuit will be able to take into today's game. But of course, never a great feeling to lose a baseball game.
You mentioned some of the positives from yesterday's loss, the 3-run home run by Tanner Thatch. He's now hit home runs in 3 of the last 4 games, but also that 4-run bottom of the fifth. And Shane, what were those positives like, and how do you see them building upon as the Kettleers face another lefty here today?
Yeah, it's been an obvious struggle for them, but they really built on it yesterday. It was the first 5 batters in that frame that reached base, allowed 2 runs to score, and were able to scratch across a couple more to get it to 7-4 through 5 innings. And you thought at that point that they had made their way back into competing in that game. But it was Ryan Ure for Brewster throwing an effortless 97, it seemed like, sitting behind home plate that put away the Kettleers quickly and put out the flame in that fifth.
And also, Shane, going back to Cam Hill, just how much does he mean to this Kettleer program? Mike Roberts talked about it after the game yesterday with Adele Huffman. Just he addressed the team, talked for a while about how much Cam Hill meant this season, meant last year. But in your perspective, how big of a presence is Cam Hill to the Cotuit Kettleers?
I mean, Cotuit loved Cam Hill just as much as Cam Hill loved Cotuit. He said the thing that he looked forward to most this year was being around the campers where they would recognize him, and he loved that. He could stop into the coop, and the customers in there would recognize him and talk to him about that. Roberts himself commended Cam Hill for even simply coming back. He knew that he didn't have to after this extremely strong summer he showed in 2023, but wanted to come back and compete and wasn't scared of what the Cape League could do. And you saw it yesterday in another lackluster start by his standards. But Hill just really said that it's an ode to how competitive the league is. You can't take a pitch off and if you make a mistake, they'll take advantage of us. Hill still struck out 5, and I thought all of his stuff was working. He struck out 5. It didn't matter if it was the fastball, changeup, or slider. He was able to get swing and miss, but when they hit it, the Brewster Whitecaps did not miss last night.
It was a Brewster Whitecap lineup that really struggled offensively going into yesterday, hitting just .218. That ranked 9th in the Cape Cod Baseball League. But Joe just putting quality at bats together. Now looking at the Kettleers pitching, what do they have to do today? Facing another Bourne lineup that also does not drive in a lot of runs. Last in the Cape Cod League with 2 home runs this year, so not a team that's really going to hit the long ball. But what do the Kettleers pitching staff have to do to right the ship?
Well, I think getting ahead in counts has been really important for these Kettleers pitchers to sequence their pitches the way they want against batters. And for Bourne just to stay ahead in the count and to not give them too many opportunities to be fishing for pitches that they want to see. Because, as mentioned, this is a lineup that has really struggled through the first 10 games of this season, and mainly with runners in scoring position. And being able to get those extra base hits is something that they've not done well. So for Cotuit, if they're able to limit the damage on those singles and be able to play solid defense as well as throwing strikes, going to be super important in getting back on track today at Bourne.
Just moments away from first pitch here at Doran Park with the national anthem moments away. We will step aside for a quick break here on the Kettleers Radio Network.
Bortolotti Construction is your go-to provider for all excavation, drainage, and waterworks services. On top of that, they offer landscape filling materials such as sand, native stone, gravel, shells, and more. Serving Cape Cod and the islands for 30 years, Bortolotti Construction is committed to serving its community. Visit at 45 Industry Road in Marston's Mills or call 508-771-9399.
Beacon Gardens is a full-service garden center right here in Mashpee. They sell a variety of landscaping materials and seasonal produce to both consumers and landscaping professionals around the Barnstable Village. Stop by and see all Beacon Gardens has to offer at 182 West Barnstable Road in Austerville.
Since 1980, the O'Rourke family has been catering Cape Cod clam bakes, making your events delicious and memorable. Founded by Jake O'Rourke, Jake's Clam Bakes has become a beloved tradition, now carried on by his son, Dan. Choose from our menu options, and on the day of your clam bake, their crew will come to your site and steam a fresh, mouth-watering clam bake just for you. It's that easy. Call us at 833-252-6285 or visit our new takeout location at Building 6 on 3821 Route 28 in Marston's Mills. Email us at dan@jakesclambakes.com with your event details, number of guests, date, time, location, and any special requests like a raw bar, homemade desserts, or kids menu. Not catering? Try their takeout menu featuring lobster rolls, smash burgers, salads, sandwiches, and a smoothie bar. Jake's Clam Bakes, making Cape Cod gatherings unforgettable.
Coastal Rentals is the place to go for professional landscape and construction equipment. Whether you need tools and equipment for commercial use or for your own projects, Coastal Rentals has what you need. Purchasing gear is also available. Check out Coastal Rentals today.
For nearly 2 decades, Coastal Irrigation has proudly provided top-notch irrigation and landscape lighting services across Cape Cod. Starting with just a handful of customers in Cotuit, they now serve nearly all of the Cape. Upgrade your lawn care with their modern irrigation systems. No more dragging around hoses or worrying about watering while you're away. Their systems ensure your grass stays healthy and green effortlessly. Transform your home with Coastal Irrigation's landscape lighting services. Enhance your outdoor gatherings, improve safety, and boost curb appeal with their affordable, low-voltage lighting solutions. Illuminate your walkways and highlight architectural details to make your home shine. Contact Coastal Irrigation at 508-428-1529 or info@coastalirrigation.net.
Discover a treasure of nearly 70,000 books at the Isaiah Thomas bookstore right here in Cotuit. Founded in 1969 and relocated to a restored 1860s Crocker family house in 1990, their shop is a haven for book lovers of any age. Visit the Isaiah Thomas bookstore on 4632 Falmouth Road in Cotuit or contact at 508-428-2752.
Braves have taken the field here at Doran Park as just at 6 o'clock as the starter Zane Adams taking his warm-up pitches. He will get the ball out of Alabama. And Joe, let's run us through the Cotuit Kettleers lineup.
Let's take a look at that, Alex, as they face the Braves for the first time this year. Nolan Naraki will bat in the leadoff spot, playing at third base out of Clemson, currently in the transfer portal, though. Tanner Thatch plays at first base, batting second. Tyler Cerny at shortstop bats third. Kian Vu, the center fielder, batting in the cleanup spot today. Nathan Hall in right field bats fifth. Brandon Compton batting in the sixth hole. He'll play left field today. Timo Becerra getting his first start for the Kettleers at the DH spot and seventh in the batting lineup. Jaron Advincula moving up from 9 to 8 today, playing at second base, and Matt Klein doing the catching duties behind the plate. He rounds out the order at 9, facing Zane Adams for the Bravos.
Zane Adams, out of Alabama, stands 6'4", 195 pounds, out of Porter, Texas. His second start on the year, third appearance. So far this year, he's 1-0 with a 1.5 ERA. He's went 6 innings, allowed 1 earned run, has yet to walk a batter and struck out 5. His last appearance came back just a week ago against Falmouth, where he picked up his lone win of the year, where he tossed 5 innings, allowed 4 hits, that 1 run, and struck out 5. And it'll be a tough test for the Kettleer lineup. And Joe, this is a lineup that has struggled mightily against lefties this year, hitting just .222. That ranks 8th on the Cape.
Yeah, that's right. So it's really important to see a lot of pitches here from Zane Adams, a guy who is coming off of a really solid season of college ball, but being able to get some reps here in the Cape League, and for Cotuit to see a lot of pitches from him, try to get him out of the game early and get to the bullpen, maybe even face a righty, to which they bat at a .278 clip, which leads the Cape Cod Baseball League. Then they should be in good shape, but it's just a matter of working those counts and making Adams work early on in this ball game.
Adams steps on the rubber, working out of the lineup here to the leadoff man, Naraki. Adams is ready. Naraki's ready. The first pitch fouled straight back into the netting, and we are underway from Doran Park. Naraki getting off to a hot start so far this summer through 7 games in Cotuit, hitting .345 with 2 home runs and 5 RBIs. As the 0-1 pitch from Adams, taken low and inside at the knees, as the count is even at 1-1. Taking a look at the Bourne Braves defense. Starting out in left field, Braden Holcomb. Chris Stanfield in center, Ethan Conrad getting the start in right. At third base is Jack Penny. At short, Clay Grady. As Naraki takes a breaking ball inside for ball 2. So he's up in the count 2-1. Camden Kojal, he plays second. Garrett Michelle plays first, and behind the dish is Matthew Gravlin. And on the mound is Zane Adams. Naraki quickly up in the count 2-1. A pitch from the lefty runs too far inside as Naraki quickly up in the count 3-1 here. Naraki, the right-hand hitting third baseman, riding a 7-game on-base streak. Started out his Kettleer career going 4 for 8. As this one chopped on the ground to the hot corner, fielded by Jack Penny. His throw is in time as Nolan Naraki is set down for the first out of the ballgame.
Well, that's a great job by Zane Adams to draw some weak contact. Has pitched in 2 games already this season, pitching to a 1.50 ERA so far across 6 innings pitched, and his second start today comes against the Kettleers.
Now it's the lefty Tanner Thatch as he takes a first pitch swinging, lines that hard and foul down the left field line. Beautiful day here at Doran Park, mid-70s weather. Fans filling up the park all along that third base side in lawn chairs. As the 0-1 pitch taken low by Thatch, so the count is even at 1-1. Fans on the third base side, fans on the first base side. Up on the hill behind us as we're situated nearly behind home plate, just off down the first base line. It's the 1-1 pitch to Thatch, chopped hard on the ground, foul down the first base line as he's now down to the count 1-2 here. Thatch hit his 3rd home run of the season last night. He hit a 10-7 ball game, but that's where the score held as Brewster captured the victory and snapped the Kettleers' 6-game winning streak. 1-2 pitch from Adams taken high and outside, and now the count is even at 2-2 to the left-hand hitting first baseman. Thatch currently on a 9-game on base streak, also riding a 5-game hitting streak. Adams, the lefty, peering out of his glove, now kicks and deals the 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball, got him looking. Zane Adams freezes Tanner Thatch as he is the first strikeout victim of the day and the second out here in the top of the first.
Yeah, 7th of the season for Tanner Thatch at the plate. Cotuit did that 13 times last night against Brewster. Not something that they're going to want to continue into this game 12. And the first one of the day for Adams.
Adams made 13 starts at Alabama as Cerny hits this one in the air. Getting underneath it is the center fielder, Chris Stanfield, as he makes the play. So Tyler Cerny down on 1 pitch as Zane Adams works a 1-2-3 top of the first here in Bourne, and we head to a commercial break here on the Kettleers Radio Network with the score tied at 0.
The Braves would like to wish our own
Operating on Cape Cod since 1988, Advanced Embroidery has garnered national awards in embroidery and screen printing. They offer screenings on golf shirts, Oxford shirts, jackets, t-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, and bags. Advanced Embroidery will print your company's or team's logos anywhere. Thousands of satisfied customers can attest for Advanced Embroidery's attentive customer service, tight quality control, and quick turnaround time. They're open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday on 38 Plant Road in Hyannis.
Beacon Gardens is a full-service garden center right here in Mashpee. They sell a variety of landscaping materials and seasonal produce to both consumers and landscaping professionals around the Barnstable Village. Stop by and see all Beacon Gardens has to offer at 182 West Barnstable Road in Austerville.
Bortolotti Construction is your go-to provider for all excavation, drainage, and waterworks services. On top of that, they offer landscape filling materials such as sand, native stone, gravel, shells, and more. Serving Cape Cod and the islands for 30 years, Bortolotti Construction is committed to serving its community. Visit at 45 Industry Road in Marston's Mills or call 508-771-9399.
Back here in Bourne as the bottom of the first, as Thatcher Hurd, excuse me. So used to seeing Tanner Thatch pitching last night, making his Kettleer debut on the mound. But Thatcher Hurd getting the ball for his first time tonight. LSU and transferred from UCLA. But Joe, take us through this Bourne lineup.
Yeah, here's how the Braves line up against Thatcher Hurd today. Jack Penny will get the start at third base, batting leadoff out of Notre Dame. Clay Grady bats second out of Virginia Tech, playing at shortstop. Ethan Conrad transferring from Marist to Wake Forest, playing in right field, batting third. Braden Holcomb in left out of Vanderbilt. Cam Colgill bats fifth. He's also out of Vanderbilt. Davis Gillespie, the designated hitter, bats seventh. Garrett Michelle at first base out of Virginia Tech. He bats eighth. Matthew Gravlin, the catcher, bats eighth. And Chris Stanfield, the center fielder, bats ninth. So Garrett Michelle actually batting seventh. He's playing first base. We might have to run through that again, but nonetheless, it's going to be Jack Penny leading off for the Braves.
So it is the lefty Jack Penny digging in against Thatcher Hurd. His first pitch runs too far in tight and plunks him right on that front knee. So it's a painful start to the night for Jack Penny, but he reaches and extends his 7-game on base streak to 8 after the hit by pitch.
Well, clearly not the way that Thatcher Hurd wanted to start his Kettleers debut. That pitch just running inside on Jack Penny. Played for the Orleans Firebirds last summer, now playing for Scotlanders and the Braves this season. But Cotuit going into this game with a league-leading 4 hit-by pitches. That's the fewest in the league, but 3 of which have come in the last 2 games. And make it the 4th right there and 5th total on the year for the Kets as Penny takes a couple of hops on first base. Looks like he's going to be okay with that all-chrome golden helmet.
Penny with that Notre Dame helmet there, shining in the sun, but now it is the shortstop Clay Grady digging in for his first at-bat against Hurd. The first pitch for him misses at the letters as Grady up in the count, 1-0. Grady so far this year, this is his 7th start, hitting .211, has 4 hits and 19 at-bats, has swiped 5 bags. As Penny still stretching out that knee over at first. Grady goes for the bunt, now pulls back, but Hurd's 1-0 pitch in there, evening the count at 1-1. Hurd this past year at LSU, a 6.55 ERA in 18 games. Struck out 56 batters in 44 innings pitched and a lot of velocity from the right arm. Working out of the stretch here, the 1-1 pitch to Grady. Taken high and outside as Grady now up in the count 2-1. Hurd started College World Series championship game for LSU a year ago. They had to switch from catcher to pitcher. And 3 years later, he started that game. It was a big cut there from Grady. Fouls that straight back off the pole in front of us. The count is 2-2 here with no outs in the bottom of the first. Jack Penny leads off first after he was drilled by a pitch to begin the inning. Hurd comes set at the belt. Kicks and deals the 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball under, blocked by the catcher, Matt Klein. Staying put is Penny at first. So we'll take a quick look at the Kettleer defense here. Getting the start in left field, Brandon Compton. In center field, Kian Vu. And in right field, Nathan Hall. From third to first, it's Nolan Naraki, Tyler Cerny, Jaron Advincula, and Tanner Thatch. 8 games in a row, Joe, that has been the same starting infield for Mike Roberts and company. And behind the dish, Matt Klein starting for back-to-back games. Hurd comes set, kicks and deals the 2-2 pitch. Penny takes off for second, but it's ball 4, so Clay Grady works a walk. As it's the first 2 runners have reached base here against third and against Hurd, and brings up the ever dangerous Ethan Conrad.
Number 5, Ethan Conrad.
Yeah, well, Thatcher Hurd 24 walks this past season at LSU in 44 innings pitched. That was to 56 strikeouts, so not a number that he struggled with too often, but at times when he was able, or when he was unfortunately having to put runners on base on walks and hit by pitches, a lot of times teams would take advantage of him, especially this past season.
The first pitch to Conrad misses in tight, has to back him up out of the way. So righty-lefty matchup here with Penny standing on second. Grady leads off first. A lot of speed from Grady. He's tied for third in the league with 5 stolen bases. Hurd now comes set. Deals the 1-0 pitch. Fastball waved through and missed by Conrad, evening the count at 1-1. Just the 4th game this summer for Conrad. He's gotten off to a hot start, .417 average, 5 hits in 12 at-bats. Also has brought in 3 runs. 1-1 pitch. This one hit on the ground to the second baseman. Advincula flips on to short, and Cerny, his relay throw not in time as Ethan Conrad beats it out. Moving up to third base is Jack Penny. So it's runners on the corners with 1 out here in the bottom of the first, bringing up the cleanup hitter, Braden Holcomb.
Well, you mentioned the 8th time that the Kettleers have brought out this infield, and it's nice to see that chemistry building between Jaron Advincula and Tyler Cerny at second base. We saw them have a couple of dropped balls in the transfer and not clean plays at second trying to turn 2 in the first few games together, but in these past couple, it has been a seamless chemistry mending process for them, and they've looked great.
Now it's the left fielder, Braden Holcomb, as this pitch goes through the legs of Matt Klein. Easily coming in to score is Jack Penny. Moving up to second is Ethan Conrad. And Bourne strikes first as they take a 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the first.
Well, Cotuit really struggling with those wild pitches this season, leading the league in that category, and this one misses from Thatcher Hurd. Trying to get that second and third outs of the inning, was unable to with the fielder's choice play at second, and now with a runner in scoring position, Bourne has an opportunity to keep the offense rolling, and something that they haven't really been able to say this season.
The 1-0 pitch to Holcomb. He lays off the high fastball as he's now up in the count 2-0. Bourne has left a lot of runners on base this year, averaging 8.1 runners left on base so far this year, but capitalizing here as Jack Penny comes in to score and Conrad stands in scoring position. The 2-0 to Holcomb taken at the knees but called a strike. So the count now moves to 2-1. Behind the dish tonight, calling balls and strikes, Al Lee Bardoni. At first base, Rick Antino. And at third base, Robert McHugh. That's the umpiring crew here. The 2-1 from Hurd. Big cut on and miss from Holcomb as the count is even at 2-2. So from 2-0 to 2-2 we go with one out in the inning. Hurd takes a long look in, now set at the belt, nods his head and kicks and deals the 2-2 pitch. Got him looking. Paints the fastball on the outside corner as Braden Holcomb set down on strikes as he is retired for the second out in the inning.
Now back. The second baseman from Vanderbilt University, number 40.
Well, perfectly placed low and outside. The fastball called for strike 3 on Holcomb. More of that right there, attacking low in the zone on Holcomb that entire at-bat. Missed a couple pitches, one low, one high, but keeping it away from his bat low and outside, incredibly important. And now here's a lefty at the plate. We'll see how he handles him.
Now it's the lefty Camden Kojal, currently riding a 6-game on-base streak as the first pitch from Hurd in there for strike number 1. Third baseman Naraki playing in on the grass here to the lefty Kojal. First baseman Thatch close to the line as Cerny protecting and holding on Conrad, who stands on second. The 0-1 pitch taken well outside to the lefty, which evens the count at 1-1. Kojal making his 10th start this year, hitting .212, 7 hits and 33 at-bats, has doubled 4 times, also brought in 2 runs, but has been the victim 14 strikeouts. As Hurd looking to pick up his second one here and just allow the 1 run. Kojal pops this one up into center field, tracking it and moving to his left. Actually is their left fielder, Brandon Compton, who calls off Kian Vu for the third out of the inning, but not before Bourne strikes first as Jack Penny comes in to score after a wild pitch as we head to the top of the second here on the Kettleers Radio Network with Bourne leading 1-0.
Since 1980, the O'Rourke family has been catering Cape Cod clam bakes, making your events delicious and memorable. Founded by Jake O'Rourke, Jake's Clam Bakes has become a beloved tradition, now carried on by his son, Dan. Choose from our menu options, and on the day of your clam bake, their crew will come to your site and steam a fresh, mouth-watering clam bake just for you. It's that easy. Call us at 833-252-6285 or visit our new takeout location at Building 6 on 3821 Route 28 in Marston's Mills. Email us at dan@jakesclambakes.com with your event details, number of guests, date, time, location, and any special requests like a raw bar, homemade desserts, or kids menu. Not catering? Try their takeout menu featuring lobster rolls, smash burgers, salads, sandwiches, and a smoothie bar. Jake's Clam Bakes, making Cape Cod gatherings unforgettable.
Coastal Rentals is the place to go for professional landscape and construction equipment. Whether you need tools and equipment for commercial use or for your own projects, Coastal Rentals has what you need. Purchasing gear is also available. Check out Coastal Rentals today.
For nearly 2 decades, Coastal Irrigation has proudly provided top-notch irrigation and landscape lighting services across Cape Cod. Starting with just a handful of customers in Cotuit, they now serve
A perfect start to the evening for Scott Lander's squad as Bourne has a 1-0 lead here in the top of the second. As it's the 4-5-6 hitters in the Cotuit lineup, and leading things off is the lefty Kian Vu. Pretty curveball in there for strike number 1 from Zane Adams. Adams worked a 1-2-3 top of the first with a strikeout, a ground out, and a fly ball as the 0-1 pitch looked at for strike 2 on Vu. He disagreed with the call, but eclipsed the inside corner on the fastball, so Vu quickly down on the count 0-2 here. Vu hitting .222 so far this summer as Adams comes set, deals misses off the plate. So the count now moves to 1-2. Lefty-lefty matchup here to begin the inning. Boone making his sixth start this year, playing in his 8th game as Adams comes set. The changeup once again misses downstairs, so the count is even at 2-2 here. Vu this past year at Arizona State hit 413 in 47 games, blasted 14 home runs, drove in 56 RBIs, but the second strikeout of the day for Zane Adams as Kian Vu expands his zone on the curveball as he's retired for the first out in the inning.
Yeah, 4 up, 4 down for Zane Adams, who's cruised through this first 4 in the order for the Kettleers. But Nathan Hall, a guy who has had some struggles and some inconsistency at the plate, but has continued to put good swings on the ball and be able to get on base even when he's unable to have production with the bat.
First pitch to the righty, Nathan Hall, taken at the knees for strike number 1. Saw the similar story yesterday, Joe, against the starter for Brewster, Seth Tomzak. Went 8 up, 8 down before Jaron Advincula got a 2-out single in the bottom of the 3rd. That broke the no-hitter as Adams spikes a pitch in the dirt, gloved by the catcher, Gravlin. The count is even at 1-1 here to the right fielder, Nathan Hall. Hall hitting .348, playing in his 7th game this summer. Got off to a hot start, went 5 for 8 in his first 2 games as a Kettleer. Backs up, but that pitch, the fastball, catches the inside corner here. So Hall quickly down on the count 1-2. Adams, the tall lefty, peers over his glove. Now deals the 1-2 pitch. Got him swinging. Third strikeout of the day for Zane Adams as he goes with the changeup to get Nathan Hall on strikes. That brings up Brandon Compton with 2 outs in the inning.
Yeah, Zane Adams, a part of the All-SEC freshman team this past season, and was able to get another big strikeout there out of Alabama, making 13 starts, 16 appearances, was the midweek guy, and then transitioned to a weekend reliever, or excuse me, a weekend starter, and settled in there at the end of the season.
Lefty-lefty matchup here as Adams starts out Compton with a first pitch breaking ball that is taken for ball number 1. 1-0 pitch goes back to the curveball. Too far inside as Compton lays off, so he's up in the count 2-0. Compton currently on a 8-game on-base streak. So he's hitting .229 this season. Adams spikes a pitch in the dirt as Compton lays off, and he's up 3-0. Compton had an impressive 2-game stretch, Joe, where against YD and Harwich, where he was a combined 5 for 10, hit 2 home runs, 7 RBIs as he lays off the 3-0 pitch for strike number 1. It struggled other than that stretch, just 3 for 25. The left-handed power hitter out of Arizona State. Adams comes set, deals the 3-1 pitch, misses low in the dirt. Compton lays off, so he works a 5-pitch walk as he's the first base runner of the day for the Kettleers. That brings up Timo Becerra with 2 outs in the inning.
Yeah, Compton 8 for 35 on the season, and that his second walk drawn on the year. So an opportunity for him to still get on base, although the long ball hasn't been there. We haven't seen him leave the yard in a while and hasn't been hitting a great bat as of late. But the Kettleers, all they need is base runners, and hopefully a spark can come from that.
So it's Timo Becerra. He takes the first pitch high and in tight for ball number 1. Becerra making his first start this summer. Pinched hit in the last 2 games. Was 0 for 1 in his Kettleer debut against YD, and yesterday scored a run, was hit by a pitch, and was walked against Brewster. Becerra swing away at the 1-0 pitch, pops that over our heads and over a few buildings, so the count is even at 1-1. Adams comes set at the belt, takes a look at Compton, who leads off first base. Now comes home with the 1-1 pitch, gets Becerra out in front and quickly has moved the count to 1-2 here. Becerra looking to keep this inning alive after Compton worked the 2-out walk. Adams set at the belt, deals the 1-2 pitch. Becerra hits this one into left field. Charging is the left fielder Braden Holcomb. That one will fall. Motoring up into third base is Brandon Compton as Timo Becerra gets into second with a 2-out double. That brings up Jaron Advincula with runners on second and third.
9 extra base hits for Becerra last season at Stanford, 8 doubles, and his first here in the Cape League. That one roped deep down the left field line, which is 330 into the corner, is able to get Compton over to third. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to score as the left fielder Holcomb was giving chase, thought he could have had it. But nonetheless, the Kettleers with a golden opportunity and 2 outs in this inning. And Jaron Advincula, another opportunity for him to continue to swing a hot bat.
First pitch to Advincula, taken low in the dirt as Adams went with the breaking ball, but a good block by the catcher, Gravlin. Keeping Compton at third and Becerra at second. 330 to left field, 395 to straightaway center, 360 to straightaway right field, but 300 just right down that right field line. As the 1-0 blocked again in the dirt by the catcher, Gravlin gets away from him for a moment, but he hustles quickly as Advincula now in the driver's seat up 2-0. And Joe, this is not the guy that Bourne wants to see up with runners in scoring position.
Yeah, no, definitely not. 13 for 29 and even better numbers in his last 7 games, Alex, as we talked about before we went live, but leading this team with a 448 average.
2-0, Adams goes with a breaking ball. That catches the lower part of the zone. So 2-1 is the count here. Advincula over his last 3 games, 6 for 8 with 3 RBIs, and over that last 7, 12 for 24, so hitting at an even 500. The 2-1 pitch to the lefty, grounded right on the mound, fielded by Adams. His throw in time. So a really nice play out on the mound by Zane Adams as he strands Brandon Compton and Timo Becerra in scoring position as we head to the bottom half of the inning with Bourne still leading 1-0.
For nearly 2 decades, Coastal Irrigation has proudly provided top-notch irrigation and landscape lighting services across Cape Cod. Starting with just a handful of customers in Cotuit, they now serve nearly all of the Cape. Upgrade your lawn care with their modern irrigation systems. No more dragging around hoses or worrying about watering while you're away. Their systems ensure your grass stays healthy and green effortlessly. Transform your home with Coastal Irrigation's landscape lighting services. Enhance your outdoor gatherings, improve safety, and boost curb appeal with their affordable, low-voltage lighting solutions. Illuminate your walkways and highlight architectural details to make your home shine. Contact Coastal Irrigation at 508-428-1529 or info@coastalirrigation.net.
When the unexpected happens, make sure you and your assets are insured appropriately. The agents at Leonard Insurance Agency can tailor coverage to meet your needs. Call 508-428-6921 to talk to their licensed agents today.
Six, 7, and 8 due up here in the bottom of the second. Alex Rocco joined alongside by Joe Pratt and Adele Huffman. Bourne is a 1-0 lead after Jack Penny came home and scored on a wild pitch just an inning ago, but it's the designated hitter Davis Gillespie set to dig in against Thatcher Hurd, who returns back to the mound for his second inning of work here. Hurd threw 18 pitches, 9 strikes in that first inning. It's the first pitch to Gillespie, looked at for strike 1. Big velocity from Hurd here. Gillespie coming into today hitting .320 through 6 games, 8 for 25 with a pair of doubles. As a fastball called strike at the knees, as Gillespie now down on the count 0-2. Coming off a year where he hit .318 at Southern Mississippi, blasted 8 home runs, 44 RBIs. As Hurd comes set, deals the 0-2 pitch, popped down the first base line. Giving it a run is the first baseman Tanner Thatch, and he makes the play. What a play by Tanner Thatch, going right up at the fence and pulling that ball back for the first out of the inning.
What a great first base Tanner Thatch has played in recent games, Alex. We talked about the impact that he's had on this lineup as a hitter, a couple of home runs in the last week, also a pitcher in last night's game, but something that's going to go overlooked is the great first base position that he has played in these last 6 games where he's gotten the start in each of them.
This one hit on the ground by Garrett Michelle, and that eats up the shortstop. Tyler Cerny evades his glove and goes into center field. Backing him up is Kien Vu. So Garrett Michelle reaches on what presumably will be ruled an error on Cerny. So Bourne has a runner on first with 1 out in the inning.
Now batting.
You know, a lot of times coaches will tell young infielders when they're growing up to count the amount of bounces that the ball takes up there. Cerny probably, if he's counting, got up to 6 there. The 7th one just catapults over his glove into the outfield. So a tough break for him and the first error on the day for the Kettleers. And now Hurd trying to make it not come back to bite him.
Hurd's first pitch to the catcher, Matthew Gravlin, taken low at the knees. Gravlin coming off a 2-for-4 performance last night with an RBI single in Bourne's loss against Falmouth. Falmouth picked up win number 3 on the season. Bourne with a 3-7-1 record as Hurd goes back to a fastball taken at the knees but called to strike. Gravlin finished this year on a 10-game on-base streak at Ohio State, where he hit .275. As Hurd back with the fastball here, taken low once again. So 2-1 is the count. Hitting .222 so far, playing in his 7th game. 4 for 18. 3 of those hits a single, 1 a triple. This one hit on the ground once again. Cerny backing up, goes to Advincula for 1. His throw low in the dirt.
Thatcher Hurd is going to be wanting to do, especially with that runner in scoring position.
Hurd comes set. This one hit on the ground. Fielded cleanly by Naraki on the backhand. His throw pulls Thatch off the bag. Tried to go with the tag on Stanfield, but is unable to do so. So the second fielding miscue for the Kettleers, and that has runners on the corners with 2 outs and back to the top of this Bourne lineup.
Now batting. The third baseman from Niederberg.
Yeah, we were just talking about how Thatch has played a really great first base. It's a nice job by him just to be able to catch that ball. He had to run into the first base line and look after Chris Stanfield, who has great speed running up towards first. So for Thatch to get out of the way of that, receive the ball, and then still try to get his foot and tag on the runner. And now Cody Colden is out of the Kettleers dugout to talk with the first base umpire, just asking what he saw on that play and if they can send it to a umpires meeting, which they will, halfway up the first base line, Alex. And just a great fielding play by Tanner Thatch just to get a piece of leather on that ball, even if the call will stand. And it will.
So nice job by Cody Colden, at least to ask him to talk things over, serving as the acting manager tonight. Mike Roberts, not here yet.
He could be. That's what we heard.
So it's back to the top of this Braves lineup. Jack Penny digs in for his second at-bat, was hit by the first pitch, and running on the first pitch is Stanfield. No throw from the catcher, Klein. So he moves up in a scoring position. So there's runners on second and third, 2 out, and the first pitch to Penny missed downstairs for ball 1.
Third stolen base of the summer for Chris Stanfield and uncontested.
Hurd set at the belt, deals the 0-1 pitch. This one popped high up in the air. Giving a look is the third baseman, Naraki, battling the sun. That one will find grass out of play. So a long foul ball from Jack Penny evens the count at 1-1 here.
You know, there's a decent bit of foul territory around Doran Park, but then once you get past either bases, then it really narrows down either baseline, and you saw more of it right there. Naraki having to battle the fence line, ran into the fence while still looking at that ball, and it just barely carries out of play. So something to keep in mind as we move out through the rest of this ball game.
The 1-1 pitch from Hurd. This one hit into right field. Nathan Hall will play it on a hop. 1-run score. Stanfield getting the wave. The throw is up the line. He slides in safely. So it's a 2 RBI single for Jack Penny as the Braves take a 3-0 lead here in the bottom of the second.
Well, Jack Penny, not the start to the summer that he was looking for. A 250 hitter, and now extends that on-base streak for him. 9 hits now and 5 RBIs in his 10th start of the season. And he stands on first base, having standing there just an inning ago with the hit by pitch, so already developing a solid day at the plate for the former Firebird.
So now it's Clay Grady digging in. Attempts the bunt, now pulls back, but Hurd's first pitch misses high. So he's up in the count 1-0. Grady walked in his first at-bat. Just the third walk of his young season. Hurd comes set, deals the 1-0 pitch, taken down the middle for strike one. That evens the count at 1-1. So not the start that Thatcher Hurd would like to his Kettleer career. It's allowed 1 hit in an inning and a third, 3 runs, as walked a batter and struck out 1. As a 35th pitch on the way, Penny taking off for second. Klein's throw into center field, but Penny will stay put as Kien Vu backing him up. So it's another stolen base for the Braves as Penny swipes second. So there's a runner on second with 2 outs.
Now 19 stolen bags on the year for the Braves to lead the Cape Cod Baseball League now. Knotted up there with Brewster, and they're a team that's going to run a lot. We've seen it plenty in these first 2 innings. Just something more for Hurd to pay attention to.
Hurd's breaking ball runs too far inside as Grady laves off. It's another tough spot for Hurd to work out of with another runner in scoring position. This is a Bourne team that struggles to bring home runs before this game, but have put up 3 in the first 2 innings. Hurd, curveball taken outside. So the count is full here with 2 outs in the inning. Bourne leads 3-0. Penny leads off second. Hurd set at the belt, takes a long look in, now kicks and deals the payoff pitch. This one hit up into the air. Getting underneath it is the left fielder Brandon Compton in left center field, and he will make the play for the third and final out of the inning, but not before the Braves tack on another 2 runs after a 2 RBI single by Jack Penny, as they now lead 3-0 after 2 innings of play. And we'll bring on the third member of our team, Adele Huffman, who has more on tonight's starting pitcher, Thatcher Hurd.
Thanks, Alex. Yes, Thatcher Hurd from Manhattan Beach, California, just finished up his junior year at Louisiana State University, standing at 6'4", 230-pound right-handed pitcher. His 2023 season was very successful with an 8-3 record, 84 strikeouts, and 63 innings. And he was also the winning pitcher in the 2023 College World Series against Florida, clinching LSU their 7th NCAA title. So far, he's allowed 3 runs for us, but do we think he can turn it around, Joe, Alex?
Well, hopefully. I mean, he ran into a lot of adversity through the start of the season, this season at LSU, and fell out of the Friday man starting role, but was able to work his way back into it. And when his team needed him most later on in the season at the North Carolina Regional, he delivered 5 2/3 innings pitched, gave up 2 runs, and a massive win for Louisiana State. So, I mean, Adele, yeah, my answer is yes. We've seen him be able to rebound from tough outings in the college game, and in the summer ball game, hopefully he's able to as well in this one.
Hurd's only allowed 1 hit, but it was that 2 RBI single against Jack Penny. But Hurd getting that championship experience always valuable to a summer baseball team, and of course working in the same rotation as Paul Skeens, #1 overall pick. He's now dominating the big leagues with the Pittsburgh Pirates. As we head back to the top of the third, swinging away is Matt Klein. He hits this one into center field. That'll dunk down for the second hit for the Kettleer lineup, as Matt Klein swings away at the first pitch and comes away with a leadoff single.
Nice hit from Matt Klein, who hasn't had a super large sample size this season. Now 3 for 9 as a hitter in his 8th total game played. He's gotten a lot of time behind the dish as a defensive substitution, not too many starts, but really great to see him continue to swing a hot bat at the times that he has had opportunities at the dish.
So lefty-lefty matchup goes the way of Klein, and now we head back to the top of this Kettleer lineup as it's Nolan Naraki watches a first pitch catch to the strike zone. Naraki 0 for 1 on the day, grounded out to third to begin the ball game. Adams working out of the stretch here with Klein taking a short lead off first base. The 0-1 pitch, curveball in the dirt, blocked by the catcher Gravelin. The count now even at 1-1. Naraki played this past season at Clemson, hit .264 in 36 games. Also swiped 11 bags, but currently in the transfer portal as the 1-1 pitch curveball once again. Naraki wisely lays off and improves the count to 2-1.
You know, it's an interesting topic to talk about. These guys who come up to summer ball and hit the transfer portal, you got to assume that being around guys who are playing on some really strong college baseball programs has an influence on where they end up going.
The 2-1 pitch popped up high into left field. Getting underneath it is Braden Holcomb. That one was hit right at him for the first out of the inning. Klein stays put at first base.
We've seen Charles Davalon, who's not in the lineup today, but transferring from Florida Gulf Coast to Arkansas. There's nobody on this Arkansas team, but also some guys on this team who are maybe thinking of joining the transfer portal or already in the transfer portal. Who knows where they could end up, but with guys from plenty of different schools on this roster, that could have some influence on where they decide to go.
Deadline to enter the transfer portal just a couple of days away. That's on July 2nd as Tanner Thatch looks at a first pitch curveball for strike number 1. Lefty-lefty matchup here as Thatch 0 for 1 on the day. With a strikeout looking. The first for Zane Adams, the first of 3. So he's still working out of the stretch here as Klein leads off first base. As the 0-1 pitch taken outside. Even in the count at 1-1. The third baseman, Penny, playing well off the line. Clay Grady, the shortstop, nearly playing up the middle. Shifted just a couple of feet off that second base bag. The 1-1, blocked in the dirt by the catcher Gravelin. Klein stays put. Thatch up 2-1.
You know, it seems like the transfer portal, it's such an interesting thing in recent college years, and I know I don't have to tell you about that being out of Penn State covering their football team, but it seems like it's something that wasn't really talked about at the end of everybody's seasons a few years ago, but now it seemingly is a topic of conversation all the time.
The 2-1 pitch to Thatch, checked swing, goes right off the bat. Dribbled down that third base line on the home dugout for Bourne, but good point that you mentioned about the transfer portal. So many players, knowing players around the NCAA, and it's always good to go into the portal, see your options, because you always have that opportunity to return back to your school.
It seems like it's a decision that everybody makes at the end of every season now, and I just don't think that happened.
Curveball got him swinging again. Tanner Thatch goes down on strikes for the second time today. The fourth punch-out of the day for Zane Adams, and quickly there's 2 outs in the inning.
Yeah, Thatch going down on strikes for the second time today. Uncharacteristic for him to swing and miss at pitches. Seemingly a great contact guy, but another nice breaking ball inside from Zane Adams, and Thatch can't get around it.
Now it's the right-handed swinging Tyler Cerny who hits this one right at the Bourne dugout and nearly drills a player. Ball was chopped hard on the ground. Might have just clipped the netting right in front.
Yeah, attacks the first pitch again, does Cerny, and more really hard contact. Flew out to center field his last time up on a deep fly ball.
Cerny's made good contact over the last 4 games, but is just 1 for his last 12. As Adams pulls the string on him, goes with the changeup as gets Cerny well out in front. Count at 0-2 with 2 outs in the inning. Klein still leads off first base after his leadoff single. Adams peers in, glove set at the belt. Pitch clock reads 4, now he delivers. Pitch runs on the inside corner, Cerny lays off. The count is 1-2 here. But Cerny had a 4-game stretch where he was 7 for 17, scored 5 times, hit 3 doubles, hitting just under 240 so far in 10 games. As the 1-2 pitch misses high, Gravelin pops up out of his stance, thought about throwing down to first base to keep an eye on Klein, but just will go back and throw a strike to his starting pitcher, Zane Adams. Klein takes his lead. The 2-2 pitch on the way. Curveball on the outside corner. Adams thought it was strike 3. Walked off the mound for a moment, but it's called a ball. So the count runs full here with 2 outs in the inning. Bourne leads 3-0 here in the top of the third. Klein not running on the pitch. Cerny pops this one high up on the infield. Getting underneath it is the second baseman, Camden Kojal, and he makes the grab for the 3rd out of the inning. So the leadoff single by Matt Klein does not come back to bite Zane Adams as he retires the next 3 Kettleers hitters, and we head to the bottom half of the inning with the Braves leading 3-0 here on the Kettleers Radio Network.
Since 1995, MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating has been your trusted commercial and residential plumbing contractor in Massachusetts. They specialize in new and rehabilitation work, gas and pipe fitting, climate control, heating, HVAC, oil burner work, boiler installation, radiant heat, forced hot water, air conditioning, and duct and sheet metal fabrication services. Founded and owned by Michael Pasic, a team of 9 skilled professionals is dedicated to providing top quality service. MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating is registered with the Massachusetts Board of State Examiners of Plumbers and the Department of Public Safety. For all your plumbing and heating needs, contact MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating at 508-420-3429 or at 60 Clamshell Point Lane in Cotuit. MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating, proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers.
Escape the summer heat at Polar Cave Ice Cream Parlor, located on Route 28 in Mashpee, right at the Barnstable town line. Our creamy, homemade ice cream flavors will delight your taste buds. Plus, Kettleers kids get a free cone on home game days. Call us at 508-477-5553 or email info@polarcave.com to learn more. Come chill with us and experience the coolest treats on Cape Cod.
RCA Electric and Generators is dedicated to helping homeowners and building contractors select, purchase, install, and maintain the ideal generator for their specific needs. Since being founded by Randy Agnew in 1990, this Barnstable-based family-run business has grown its reputation by serving all of Cape Cod, the South Shore, and the South Coast. Get in touch today by reaching out to RCA at 508-428-0449 or visit in person at 153 Commercial Street in Mashpee.
Descriptive.
3-4-5 due up here in the bottom of the third as it's Ethan Conrad set to square off against Thatcher Hurd, who comes back out to the mound. Hurd gave up 1 run in the first inning and 2 in the second after the 2 RBI single by the leadoff hitter Jack Penny. But it's Conrad who digs in. He's 0 for 1 on the day. Also has swiped a bag as the first pitch from Thatch backs him up at a left-hand hitter's batter's box here. So 1-0 is the count. Conrad, arguably the dangerous hitter, the most dangerous hitter in this Bourne lineup, hitting .417, and he'll pick him another hit here as this is a rocket off of his bat into center field. Vu fields cleanly, quickly relays it, but Ethan Conrad notches his first hit of the ball game with a leadoff single.
Yeah, improves to 5 for 14 on his young summer, getting his 4th start today. And Conrad recently transferring from Marist to Wake Forest, a .389 hitter this past season with 9 bombs and a slugging percentage above .700. And we saw him tear the cover of that ball just for a single. Makes sense as to why he has that amount of extra base hits at Marist this past season.
He also hit 13 triples this past year, which is a MAC single season record. As it's Braden Holcomb, the righty, takes high for ball number 1. Also hit 4 triples in a game that was back against St. Peter's on March 22nd. That's an NCAA record. Usually when you see the number 13, you think it's home runs, but no, it's triples for Ethan Conrad, has yet to notch one this summer as Holcomb lays off on the off-speed pitch that's well out of the zone from Hurd.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times you see a guy who has a slugging percentage above 700. Tanner Thatch for the Kettleers, for instance, he had over 25 home runs this season. So usually it's a guy like that who's hitting upwards close to 30 bombs.
Conrad running on the pitch. The throw down not in time as he swipes his second bag of the day. Pitch was called to strike against Holcomb, so the count is 2-1, but Conrad stands in scoring position, still here with no outs.
I mean, 18 doubles, 13 triples, and 19 stolen bases, too. To have a guy with that speed who can slug it at that rate. Massive for the middle of your lineup.
Hurd, this one chopped on the ground to the third baseman. Naraki double pumps, makes the play in time. Also had to look back Conrad at second, but Braden Holcomb retired for the first out of the inning as he goes to 0 for 2 on the day.
Well, that's a nice job from Naraki at third to get back after making an error last inning. 2 errors on the board for the Kets in that second inning and 2 runs scoring for the Braves. So limiting those errors are going to be super important as the Kettleers not having too much success when they make 2-3 errors in a baseball game. But the last few times that they have recorded 2 errors in a game, they've been able to come away with the win. As long as the Kettleers are able to limit those mishaps.
Errors both by the left side of this infield. Naraki on a throw and Cerny on a fielding error. As it's Camden Kojal, takes the first pitch high and in tight from Hurd. Conrad takes his lead off second. Cerny keeping a close eye on him. Now Hurd set at the belt, deals the 1-0 pitch. This one hitting the right field rather. Nathan Hall plays it perfectly, gets underneath it. His throw to third base is cut off by Tyler Cerny. So Ethan Conrad moves up 90 feet and stands at third base with 2 outs in the inning after the long fly ball from Camden Kojal.
A quality at bat for Kojal, who flew out to the outfield his last time up. A couple of deep flies for him so far today, and Bourne taking advantage of Thatcher Hurd's move to the plate. They have 4 stolen bases through just these first 3 innings.
Now it's Davis Gillespie. He popped up in his first at bat just an inning ago. First pitch curveball from Hurd misses below the knees. Taken for ball number 1. Gillespie popped up to Tanner Thatch at first base, and that was a play where he had to guard against the netting down that first base line. But a heck of a grab by the Kettleer first baseman. Another curveball right down the middle, taken for a strike. So that evens count at 1-1 here with 2 outs in the inning. And Ethan Conrad standing just 90 feet away from extending this Braves lead to 4-0. Both teams with 2 hits. Just Cotuit with 2 errors and the Braves with 3 runs. It's another curveball taken at the letters for ball 2. And Joe, seeing Hurd attack Gillespie here with the breaking ball.
Yeah, 2 straight breaking balls there from Hurd. Trying to work his way back into the count.
The 2-1 fastball taken on the outside corner for strike 2. So the count is even at 2-2 here with 2 outs in the inning. Gillespie, 8 for 26 so far this summer, hitting above 300. Hurd comes set at the belt, kicks and deals the 2-2 pitch breaking ball. That's drilled down the third base line, but foul. Conrad had to hop out of the way of that ball.
Yeah, rocket down the third base line. We've seen his great speed and agility on the base paths. Easy for him to get out of the way. And someone's going to have to remove that baseball from the field. Someone will run out from Bourne's bullpen in left field. This is a really important at bat for Thatcher Hurd here. Try to escape this inning, strand the runner on third. He's ahead in the count 2-2.
Hurd looking for his first scoreless inning so far today as this one hit on the ground to the first baseman, Tanner Thatch. Fields cleanly, easily takes it to the bag for the third out of the inning. So the leadoff single by Ethan Conrad does not come back to bite Thatcher Hurd as he strands him on third base. As we head to the top of the 4th, here on the Kettleers radio network with Bourne leading 4-0.
Operating on Cape Cod since 1988, Advanced Embroidery has garnered national awards in embroidery and screen printing. They offer screenings on golf shirts, Oxford shirts, jackets, t-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, and bags. Advanced Embroidery will print your company's or team's logos anywhere. Thousands of satisfied customers can attest for Advanced Embroidery's attentive customer service, tight quality control, and quick turnaround time. They're open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday on 38 Plant Road in Hyannis.
Beacon Gardens is a full-service garden center right here in Mashpee. They sell a variety of landscaping materials and seasonal produce to both consumers and landscaping professionals around the Barnstable Village. Stop by and see all Beacon Gardens has to offer at 182 West Barnstable Road in Austerville.
Bortolotti Construction is your go-to provider for all excavation, drainage, and waterworks services. On top of that, they offer landscape filling materials such as sand, native stone, gravel, shells, and more. Serving Cape Cod and the islands for 30 years, Bortolotti Construction is committed to serving its community. Visit at 45 Industry Road in Marston's Mills or call 508-771-9399.
Zane Adams finishing up his warm-up pitches here at Doran Park with the Braves leading 3-0. I'm Alex Rocco, joined alongside by Joe Pratt and Adele Huffman. As it's 4-5-6 due up for the Kettleers. Kian Vu, Nathan Hall, and Brandon Compton set to face Zane Adams out for inning number 4, and Adams has allowed just 2 hits so far. Looking to put up another 0. As the first pitch breaking ball against Kian Vu runs too far and tight and plunks him on that elbow. So a first pitch hit by pitch as Vu reaches for the first time today. As the Kettleers have the leadoff man on for just the second time in back-to-back innings, Joe.
Yeah, it's a good point you bring up because the Kettleers having to play from behind. The bats haven't been there in the first 2 innings, but still, or first 3 innings, but still able to get on base. And they've put now 4 runners on base in this entire ball game. But after 3 up, 3 down in that first inning, they haven't made Zane Adams' job on the mound too easy, even though he has thrown 50 pitches and 27 strikes into this 4th inning.
Nathan Hall with a big cut on the first pitch changeup from Zane Adams. The count is 0-1. Hall today 0 for 1, struck out swinging. Was Adams' third of 4 strikeouts here so far. Lefty working out of the stretch with Vu leading off first base. Now with a pickoff move, Vu back in standing. So Adams keeping a close eye on him. The lefty peers in, glove set at his chest. Gets the sign from Gravelin. Now comes home with the 0-1 pitch. Gets Hall fishing. A tough swing from Nathan Hall as he's down on the count 0-2 here. Adams looking to put away Hall for the second time today. Vu takes his lead off first, the 0-2 pitch. This one, a rocket off the bat. That one will get down into left field. Playing it on a hop is the left fielder, Braden Holcomb. So a 2-strike single for Nathan Hall as the Kettleers have back-to-back runners on to begin the 4th inning. As Vu stands on second, Hall on first after a single.
A pitch that he gets up and inside. Hall fights it off to the pull side to left field. And now the Kettleers, something brewing here with runners on first and second. Nobody out in this inning. And the most difficult situation that Zane Adams has been in so far today with nobody gone and 2 on. And now Brandon Compton, who's in need of a big swing, is up at the plate.
Brandon Compton hits this one on the ground and evades a diving glove of Garrett Michelle. Getting the wave around from third is Kian Vu as it's an RBI single from Brandon Compton as Cotuit cuts the deficit to 3-1 after the RBI single from Brandon Compton.
Great piece of hitting from Brandon Compton. We've seen him do that a lot of times, despite the home runs, has been able to not try to murder the ball, just puts a good bat on it, that time finding the hole on the right side of the infield, and does exactly what he needs with those runners on first and second to the pull side. Hall is able to move up to second, so it'll be the same situation for the Kets now with Becerra at the plate.
Double-digit RBIs for Brandon Compton on the year, as the first pitch to Becerra, a curveball that spiked in the dirt, kept in front by the catcher Matthew Gravlin. So Hall stands on second. Compton leads off first. Becerra notched his first hit as a Kettleer back in inning number 2 with a 2-out double. As Cotuit had runners on second and third, but Jaron Advincula grounded straight back to Zane Adams on the mound, stranding 2 runners in scoring position. This one hit into center field. Charging is the center fielder, Chris Stanfield. Coming around and getting the wave is Nathan Hall. The throw is cut off by the first baseman, Garrett Michelle. So back-to-back RBI singles by the Kettleers as they trail just 3-2, still with no outs in the inning. And Joe, once again, in the same spot with runners on first and second.
Yeah, and Timo Becerra, have a day for him in his first start for the Kettleers. A double and now an RBI single here in the 4th inning. Drove in 18 runners this past season at Stanford in 54 ball games and has his first here as a Kettleer. 3-2, they trail.
Adams running into trouble so far. Led off this inning with a hit by pitch to Kian Vu as Advincula hits this one on the ground to the first baseman. He goes to second for 1. The throw is not in time as Adams was covering first. So Advincula legs it out. So it's a fielder's choice, and moving up to third is Brandon Compton. So it's runners on the corners with 1 out, and that brings up the catcher, Matt Klein.
Now batting, Exterior from the University of Louisville, 19.
Well, that was a great play by Zane Adams, the pitcher, as Advincula was running up that first base line. They were going to have a chance to get him with his great speed, but the first baseman, Michelle, was far off the bag, so nobody was covering first, and the throw was coming to first, and nobody was there. Adams had to reach over the bag and barely get a piece of it, snow cone that one, to keep the runners exactly where they are at. And the Kettleers threatening once more, and Matt Klein, who swung a hot bat in a small sample size this season, has an opportunity to make a big difference in this ball game.
Klein 1 for 1 on the day, singled just an inning ago. The first pitch to him lined straight back into the netting behind home plate, so the count is 0-1. Adams had a pickoff move on Advincula before, but he was back in standing. So it's runners on the corners with 1 out. Cotuit hitting 2 for 4 with runners in scoring position today, but Klein up in a big spot with his team trailing by a run. Adams kicks and deals the 0-1 pitch, fastball taken low and outside, so the count is even at 1-1 here.
Yeah, lefty on lefty matchup, working the breaking ball away from the left-handed swinging Klein. Nice job from him there to hold off, though, and send this count to 1-1.
Klein, 3 for 9 on the young season in his 3rd start. As Adams trying to locate in that lower part of the zone, this one just misses too low downstairs. Went with a fastball here as Klein lays off. So the count improves to 2-1. This past year at Louisville, Klein made 35 starts, hit 3 home runs, also drove in 27 RBIs. Next pitch low in the dirt, blocked by Gravlin, but the runners stay put at on the corners with 1 out, and the count improves to 3-1. Klein, an ultra-productive player in high school, won the 2021 Johnny Bench Award. That goes to the top high school catcher in Kentucky. Klein set up the belt, kicks and deals. The 3-1 pitch hit high into left field. Getting underneath it is the left fielder Holcomb, who makes the grab. Tagging from third is Compton. The throw is not in time. Compton does not slide, but it's a sac fly for Matt Klein, and this game is all tied up here at 3 after Cotuit has put up 3 here in the top of the 4th.
Klein gets one in off of his hands and sends a flare to left field. The left fielder Holcomb was having to battle the wind, but was able to come down with that one and get a pretty good step on that throw. And one that was on the fly from left field all the way to home plate. Gravline spinning around trying to apply that tag on Compton. It was too late, but still a phenomenal throw from Holcomb in left.
Now it's back to the top of the Cotuit order. Nolan Naraki lays off the first pitch from Zane Adams. Naraki 0 for 2 today. On that sac fly, Jaron Advikul moves up to second. So Cotuit still with another runner in scoring position here. The 1-0 pitch well out in front as Adams breaks out the changeup to a full Naraki here. Naraki started 0 for 3 in yesterday's contest, but had 2 singles in his last 2 at-bats to have a 2 for 5 day. As the 1-1 pitch swung on and missed by Naraki. As Adams once again getting ahead with the breaking ball here. His count is 1-2 with 2 outs in the inning. We've seen this over the last 2 games for Naraki, struggling in his first few plate appearances, then having a huge hit in the middle of it. The 1-2 pitch popped high into center field. Getting underneath it is the center fielder, Chris Stanfield, who makes the grab for the 3rd out of the inning, but not before Cotuit puts up 3 here in the top of the 4th to even the score at 3-3 after 3 hits, but they strand Jaron Advikula on second. We head to the bottom half of the inning with the score even at 3 apiece here on the Kettleers Radio Network.
Since 1980, the O'Rourke family has been catering Cape Cod clam bakes, making your events delicious and memorable. Founded by Jake O'Rourke, Jake's Clam Bakes has become a beloved tradition, now carried on by his son, Dan. Choose from our menu options, and on the day of your clam bake, their crew will come to your site and steam a fresh, mouth-watering clam bake just for you. It's that easy. Call us at 833-252-6285 or visit our new takeout location at Building 6 on 3821 Route 28 in Marston's Mills. Email us at dan@jakesclambakes.com with your event details, number of guests, date, time, location, and any special requests like a raw bar, homemade desserts, or kids menu. Not catering? Try their takeout menu featuring lobster rolls, smash burgers, salads, sandwiches, and a smoothie bar. Jake's Clam Bakes, making Cape Cod gatherings unforgettable.
Coastal Rentals is the place to go for professional landscape and construction equipment. Whether you need tools and equipment for commercial use or for your own projects, Coastal Rentals has what you need. Purchasing gear is also available. Check out Coastal Rentals today.
For nearly 2 decades, Coastal Irrigation
Garrett Michelle set to lead things off here in the bottom of the 4th. New territory for the Bourne Braves as this game all even at 3 apiece. Michelle reached on an error in his first plate appearance. That came back in the 2nd inning. That error was committed by the shortstop Tyler Cernias. Hurd started him out with a first pitch curveball that missed. Here's the 1-0 taken once again beneath the knees. So Michelle up in the count 2-0. Michelle, one of several returners to this Bourne squad. Played last year, hit .243 in 41 games. As he lays off another pitch from Hurd here as the count goes to 3-0. But he hit .243 last year with the Braves. Crushed 7 home runs, drove in 21 RBIs. Not gotten off to the hottest of starts so far here in his 2nd campaign as Hurd pours in a strike on 3-0. Came into today hitting .174 through 6 games, just 4 hits in 23 at-bats. Hurd set at the belt, kicks and deals the 3-1 pitch. That one runs too far in tight as Garrett Michelle reaches for the 2nd time today here on a leadoff walk.
Yeah, loses Michelle, who reaches base for the 2nd time today, and a nice job from Hurd, though, regardless. Having to work through some difficult innings in the first 2, but only one of those 3 runs on the board for Bourne so far today is earned. So he has just allowed those 2 hits, 1 earned run, and now a pair of walks that he'll have to work with a runner on first base throughout the rest of this inning.
It was 2 errors committed by Tyler Cerny and Nolan Naraki back in the 2-run second inning for the Braves. As now it's the catcher Matthew Gravlin who looks at the first pitch high for ball number 1. Gravlin reached on a fielder's choice and later came around to score in that 2-run second inning as he pops this one high and deep down the right field line, but well out of play as that reaches the trees. Gravlin, 2 seasons ago, made the All Big Ten freshman team after a year that saw him hit .287, 4 home runs, 35 RBIs at Ohio State. Had another productive season in 2024, but hits this one on the ground. Fielded cleanly by Cerny. Is flipped to Advincula. The throw is in time. They got him. A nice turn by the Kettleers middle infield as it's a 6-4-3 double play. So quickly, there's 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th.
Massive job by the middle infield to pick up their pitcher, Thatcher Hurd. They've attempted a couple of double plays so far today, but haven't been able to pull it off. And that one in their 3rd try, they're finally able to turn 2 and get 2 crucial outs in this frame. And Hurd trying to keep that pitch count low and go deeper into this ball game.
That was a bang-bang play at second. Garrett Michelle sliding in, nearly beat the flip from Cerny, but it's Chris Stanfield up here. Stanfield reached on the throwing error from Naraki. He's up in the count 1-0 after the first pitch from Hurd missed. Here's the 1-0. Called strike at the letter. Stanfield disagrees with the call. Shakes his head in disbelief. The count is even at 1-1 here. 2 outs in the inning after the 6-4-3 double play from Matthew Gravlin. Stanfield went 0 for 4 last night. Did bring in a run and struck out twice as Hurd's 1-1 pitch misses everything. Evades the glove of Klein. Goes straight back to the backstop here. Large backstop at Doran Park. Talked about it earlier. Large foul grounds, but gets tighter down the lines. Hurd with a long look in, now shakes his head, gets the sign from Klein. Set at the belt, deals the 2-1 pitch. This one hit on a rocket over the jumping attempt from Tyler Cerny and into left field. Fielding it cleanly is Brandon Compton, and a throw over by Cerny, but Stanfield back in time was wandering off the bag for a moment. But it's a 2-out single for Chris Stanfield as we head back to the top of the Brave order.
Yeah, frustrating start to the year for Chris Stanfield, who's in his 11th start today, entering this game with a 190 batting average. Has 8 hits. We just saw the 9th right there in his 44th at-bat, so good notion from him, as it will be the end of the day for Thatcher Hurd, who pitches 2 outs into this bottom of the 4th inning, but for the first time today, the Kettleers will go to their bullpen.
So Thatcher Hurd's day is done. He goes 3 2/3 innings pitched as Cotuit calls upon a relief arm for the first time today. Don't go anywhere here on the Kettleers Radio Network. We have more action from Doran Park.
When the unexpected happens, make sure you and your assets are insured appropriately. The agents at Leonard Insurance Agency can tailor coverage to meet your needs. Call 508-428-6921 to talk to their licensed agents today.
Since 1995, MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating has been your trusted commercial and residential plumbing contractor in Massachusetts. They specialize in new and rehabilitation work, gas and pipe fitting, climate control, heating, HVAC, oil burner work, boiler installation, radiant heat, forced hot water, air conditioning, and duct and sheet metal fabrication services. Founded and owned by Michael Pasick, a team of 9 skilled professionals is dedicated to providing top quality service. MK Pasick Plumbing and Heating is registered with the Massachusetts Board of State Examiners of Plumbers and the Department of Public Safety. For all your plumbing and heating needs, contact MK Pasick Plumbing and Heating at 508-420-3429 or at 60 Clamshell Point Lane in Cotuit. MK Pasick Plumbing and Heating, proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers.
Escape the summer heat at Polar Cave Ice Cream Parlor, located on Route 28 in Mashpee, right at the Barnstable town line. Our creamy, homemade ice cream flavors will delight your taste buds. Plus, Kettleers.
Michael Ebner is the new arm for the Kettleers here in the bottom of the fourth as Chris Stanfield takes his lead off first base as Ebner facing the leadoff hitter Jack Penny, but before his first offering, pickoff move, Stanfield back in safely after a headfirst dive. Penny today 1 for 1 was hit by a pitch to begin the ball game. Also had a 2 RBI single and another pickoff move. Stanfield once again diving in safely. Ebner this year, 2 appearances. His toss 5 2/3 innings pitch is yet to allow a hit or a run and has struck out 6. Stanfield running on the pitch. Klein's throw down to second on a hop. The throw is not in time as Stanfield swipes second. So another stolen base for the Braves. Their 5th tonight as Stanfield now in scoring position with 2 outs.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who's on the mound, whether it's Hurd or now Ebner. They're running on everybody, and now Chris Stanfield picks up his 2nd of the summer and now working with a runner in scoring position with 2 gone.
That first pitch was rolled to strike. Cerny plays it on a hop. Beautiful stab. His throw in time. What a play by Tyler Cerny. Stabbed it on a hop off the line drive from Jack Penny and makes a pirouette throw in time to nab him for the 3rd out of the inning. So Michael Ebner comes on and retires Jack Penny. And that closes the line on Thatcher Hurd's day as he goes 3 2/3 innings pitched, allows 3 runs, and gives up 1 earned. And we bring on the 3rd member of our team once again, Adele Huffman, who has more on the Kettleers.
Thank you, Alex. Yes, let's talk about Timo Becerra with his first start today. He's from California and just finished up his junior year at Stanford, standing at 6'1", an infielder. Hit a double in his first at-bat today and an RBI single in this past inning. This past year at Stanford, he played in 54 games, starting 53 of those with 27 runs, 18 RBIs, and he is a 2-time Pac-12 team champion. And I got to talk with him yesterday before the game, and he told me about how he came in on a midnight red eye and arrived at Lowell Park with his suitcases in hand, but the excitement, I guess, took over, and he was able to get through the game. He also talked about how he's been playing with and against a lot of his teammates. With his first at-bat against YD, the catcher actually was from Stanford, and he looked at him and said, "Take it easy on me, man." So I think that's one of the most special parts about summer ball is these guys get to play with their teammates from college and against them, and it just makes for a special summer.
Oh, absolutely. And of course, Joey Volchko, one of his teammates here in Cotuit and at Stanford. But always a cool moment to see guys playing against each other and just taking a red-eye flight and showing up to practice. That's impressive stuff. I don't know if I could be able to do that. I don't know about you, Joe, but real grit there from Timo Becerra.
Yeah, definitely. And I think we've seen it in his first few plate appearances this year. I mean, took a hit by pitch, flew out to left field, and now a pair of hits in his first start today. I mean, what can't this guy do? And coming off of a great season that he had at Stanford, as Adele mentioned, a long way for these guys to come. So it's definitely cool for them to have some familiarity once they get out here. And boy, it must be cool to maybe have some nerves going into your first at-bats in the Cape League, but to have your teammate, your college teammate behind the dish, able to be there right there with you. It kind of maybe doesn't feel like it's that serious of a baseball game, but of course, still trying to win games up here, but also trying to have fun and improve these guys, I guess, skill set, but also their chances of getting selected in the draft and other things like that. But that familiarity is so huge.
That's something that Mike Roberts talks about, getting here and improving your skill sets, and summer baseball all being about player development. And you can see that, something that Timo Becerra looks at as something that he values a lot. But excellent
Now
stuff
batting,
once
the
again,
first
Adele, as
baseman
there's
from
a
the
new
University of North
pitcher
Carolina
in the
Wilmington,
game for
number
Bourne, as
30,
Zane Adams'
Tanner
day is
Thatch.
done. They go with another lefty out of the bullpen, Zach Crotchfeld. So closing the line on Zane Adams, he goes 4 innings, allows 5 hits, gives up 3 all earned, walks a batter, and strikes out 4, tossing 67 pitches in those 4 innings. It's a lefty-lefty matchup to begin the top of the 5th, as Tanner Thatch looks at a first pitch high from Crotchfeld. Thatch 0 for 2 today, a pair of strikeouts, 1 looking, 1 swinging. Crotchfeld out of the stretch, glove set at the belt, kicks and deals, this one taken low.
Crotchfeld throwing the fastball, changeup, slider, coming off of his last appearance, which was last Saturday. So a long time since his last time out for the Bravos. He pitched 1 inning, gave up 3 earned and 4 hits.
Thatch grounds this, right to Tyler Cerny on the on-deck circle. Tried to barehand that ball, just ricocheted off of his hand. So it would have been another nice play for Cerny. Doesn't go down in the scorebook, but trying to showcase his hands. The 2-1 upcoming from Crotchfeld. This one cracked on the ground right to the second baseman. Kozel bobbles it for a moment. His throw is in time to get Tanner Thatch by a step. So a nice recovery by Kozel for the first out of the inning.
He talked about Cerny in the on-deck circle, has played a really strong shortstop in response to making the error back in the second inning. Most importantly, that ground ball with the runner on second base at the end of that 4th inning had to go deep into the hole, spin around and throw it to first to bail out his pitcher out of that inning. Thatcher Hurd, and Michael Ebner was there to finish it off. But to keep another runner in scoring position for the Braves in back-to-back innings is huge.
The first pitch to Cerny on the outside corner. Went with the fastball, but just misses too far outside. Cerny 0 for 2 today. 1 for his last 13, but should definitely have a couple of hits in that stretch. Has hit the ball well. Pair of lineouts and some deep fly balls. It's the 1-0 pitch, hopped high and well foul out of play over us. Ball hits the hill and rolls down. So the count is even at 1-1 here in the top of the 5th. Bourne, Cotuit tied up at 3 apiece. Bourne enters this game with a 3-7-1 record. Cotuit 7-4. Looking to get back in the win column after their 6-game winning streak was snapped last night. Cerny well out in front on an off-speed pitch from Crotchfeld. The count moving to 1-2 here. Crotchfeld comes set and kicks and deals the 1-2 pitch. Cerny hits this one into left field on a line. That one will get down as Braden Holcomb plays it on 2 hops, and Tyler Cerny notches his first hit of the ballgame with a 1-out single.
Gets that pitch in the same location as the second one he saw from Crotchfeld. He goes back to it low and inside, and Cerny hammers that one. He was all over it to left field. Nice to see him break through with another hit in this ball game. You mentioned his numbers going into this game, just 1 for 11 in his last 11 at-bats. Now slowly improving upon that mark, and he takes a short lead at first with 1 gone.
This is the 3rd appearance for Zach Crotchfeld this season as Kian Vu goes with the bunt attempt, pulls back as the off-speed pitch misses low in the dirt. But Crotchfeld this year, his 3rd appearance. In his first 2, went just 2 innings and allowed 5 runs for an ERA that sits at 22.5. Fu swinging away, lofts this one deep down the left field line, but well foul. Even in the count at 1-1 here. Last pitched against Wareham on Saturday. But an inning, gave up 4 hits, 3 runs. Batters are hitting .500 against him. That number going up after the the 1-out single by Tyler Cerny. 1-1 offering Nauvoo, taken well and low outside. Vu 0 for 1 today, struck out swinging to lead off the second inning. Also was hit by a pitch in the fourth, and he later came around to score. Part of that 3-run top of the fourth for the Kettleers that evened the score at 3. Cerny running on the pitch. This one hit once again on the ground to Camden Kojal. His throw in time to nab Vu at first. Moving up to second is Cerny. That brings up Nathan Hall with 2 outs.
More weak contact drawn by the pitcher Crotchfeld, who struggled in his last time out, as you were just talking about, but nice job for him in this 5th inning to draw some weak contact, a pair of ground balls to second base. Tyler Cerny with the lone hit, he stands on second. And Cotuit in a tie ball game through the 4th inning, that's exactly where they want to be, really. The way that the bullpen has been able to slam the door in the past week, not including last night's game, but amidst the end of that 6-game winning streak, you got to be pretty happy where you're at right now.
First pitch to Hall, breaking ball, blocked in the dirt by Gravelin. And a good point that you make, Joe, and also the way that this Bourne bullpen has been so far this year. Their starters have a 3.59 ERA, but the bullpen in 47 and a third innings pitched a 7.04 ERA. So not what you want to see from this Braves pitching staff. As a curveball looked at for strike one, that evens the count at 1-1 to Nathan Hall. Hall 1 for 2 on the day. Struck out swinging in the second and singled, and later came around to score in the fourth. Crotchfeld set up the belt, takes a long look at Cerny, who's held down by Kojal. Fastball runs high and in tight. Hall has to back out of the way. Gravelin thought about making the throw down a second, but decides against it as Cerny back in standing at second. Crotchfeld set. Pitch clock reads 5. Now deals with it reading 4 as Hall pops this one high up on the infield right at the first baseman, Garrett Michelle, battling the sun, and he puts it away for the 3rd out of the inning. So Zach Crotchfeld strands Tyler Cerny on second as we head to the bottom of the 5th with Bourne and Cotuit even at 3. And when we come back from this commercial break, my broadcast partner Joe Pratt will take over on play-by-play duties. Don't go anywhere here on the Kettleers Radio Network. RCA Electric and Generators is dedicated to helping homeowners and building contractors select, purchase, install, and maintain the ideal generator for their specific needs. Since being founded by Randy Agnew in 1990, this Barnstable-based family-run business has grown its reputation by serving all of Cape Cod, the South Shore, and the South Coast. Get in touch today by reaching out to RCA at 508-428-0449 or visit in person at 153 Commercial Street in Mashpee.
With 30-plus years of personal injury litigation and insurance negotiation experience, Snow Law Firm is your go-to for wrongful injuries and rightful compensation. Snow Law Firm will secure the maximum amount of compensation available through settlement or trial. Schedule a free case evaluation by calling 508-477-7100.
For over 40 years, Vollmer & Son Construction has proudly served its community, providing a wide range of construction services, from bathroom renovations to complete home remodels. When you work with Vollmer & Son, you are being taken care of by natives of Cape Cod who support the community by using local suppliers and subcontractors. Vollmer & Son Construction, a proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers.
Back from Doran Park for the bottom of the 5th inning. Joe Pratt, Alex Rocco, Adele Huffman are with you. Clay Grady will lead off for the Bravos in this 5th frame. He is 0 for 1. His first pitch he sees from Michael Ebner finds the dirt. 1-0. Ebner working against the last batter faced in that 4th inning, or the last batter to have an at-bat in the 4th inning for Bourne, as this one's shot high into right center field. Racing back Nathan Hall, and he will flag it down in the alleyway to pick up back-to-back outs to start off Michael Ebner's afternoon. So Ebner entered the game relieving Thatcher Hurd, who went 3 2/3 innings. Gave up a single, then he was taken out of the game. Chris Stanfield was on first. And then Michael Ebner comes into the game, draws a relatively hard-hit ground ball towards shortstop, and a really nice play there made by Tyler Cerny to end that inning and strand the runner in scoring position. Ebner's first pitch is low and inside to Ethan Conrad. 1-0 the count to him. He is 1 for 2. One of 2 Bourne players in this starting lineup to have 2 stolen bases in this game. Stanfield the other one. 5 total for Bourne today. As the next pitch is a breaking ball from Ebner that falls in for strike 1. Ethan Conrad, a .417 hitter going into this game, his 4th start of the season. Ebner ready. The 0-1 pitch is rolled weakly up the middle over the mound, and Cerny from behind the bag throwing on the move, and it's in time by a half a step there to get Ethan Conrad.
Another nice play by Tyler Cerny out at shortstop after committing that fielding error on a ball that just ate him up. He's made a couple of really nice plays. That one a bang play at first base. Excellent stretch by Tanner Thatch as Conrad set down for just the first time today.
And now Braden Holcomb, who's looking to reach for the first time today. He struck out looking and grounded out to third. Infield will shift to the left for him. Naraki close to the line, just back of the bag. The first pitch from Ebner is a breaking ball low and outside, 1-0. Ebner, not enough time on the mound so far this season to qualify for these categories, as the 1-0 pitch is low and outside, 2-0. But he's the only Kettleers pitcher on this active roster other than Harrison Bodendorf and James Ellwanger with a 0 ERA. Sits alone on this Ketts rotation with no hits allowed. Batters hitting at a 0 clip against him as the next pitch is low and outside, this time with the fastball, and it dots the corner. 2-1. So an excellent start to the year for Michael Ebner, just hasn't had too many opportunities out there. Now he comes set, working from the stretch. The 2-1 pitch is a fastball up high and called a strike 2 to the dismay of Braden Holcomb, who takes a shocked look back at his dugout on the third base side.
Ebner's been exactly what this Kettleer team has needed, provided them length out of the bullpen and coming in, missing bats and throwing a lot of strikes.
Peering through the shadows cast across Doran Park as the 2-2 pitch just misses outside. Nearly paint, but not quite.
It's a tough take from Braden Holcomb there.
He's ready, the 3-2 pitch. Breaking ball called to strike 3. 3 up, 3 down ends the bottom of the 5th inning. Michael Ebner has faced 4 batters and retired each of them as the Kettleers and Braves remain knotted up at 3 as we go to the top of the 6th inning here on the Kettleers Radio Network.
Operating on Cape Cod since 1988, Advanced Embroidery has garnered national awards in embroidery and screen printing. They offer screenings on golf shirts, Oxford shirts, jackets, t-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, and bags. Advanced Embroidery will print your company's or team's logos anywhere. Thousands of satisfied customers can attest for Advanced Embroidery's attentive customer service, tight quality control, and quick turnaround time. They're open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday on 38 Plant Road in Hyannis.
Beacon Gardens is a full-service garden center right here in Mashpee. They sell a variety of landscaping materials and seasonal produce to both consumers and landscaping professionals around the Barnstable Village. Stop by and see all Beacon Gardens has to offer at 182 West Barnstable Road in Austerville.
Bortolotti Construction is your go-to provider for all excavation, drainage, and waterworks services. On top of that, they offer landscape filling materials such as sand, native stone, gravel, shells, and more. Serving Cape Cod and the islands for 30 years, Bortolotti Construction is committed to serving its community. Visit at 45 Industry Road in Marston's Mills or call 508-771-9399. Three your score from Doran Park on the campus of Cape Cod Tech here in Bourne, Massachusetts. Back onto the mound goes Zach Crotchfelt out of Auburn, working well through that first inning despite coming off of a relatively difficult performance 6 days ago.
Drawing a lot of weak contact, a pair of groundouts to the second baseman, Nathan Hall getting a pop out. Did surrender that one hit to Tyler Cerny, but that's exactly how you want to come back after struggling early on in the season, coming into today with an ERA well over 20. You never want to have that as a pitcher, but working weak contact, see what he can do here in inning number 2.
Brandon Compton digs in, a lefty-on-lefty matchup. Zach Crotchfelt ready with the glove just above his belt. From the stretch he throws, bounces in there. 1-0 on Compton, who is 1 for 1, has reached on a walk back in the second, an RBI single in the fourth. Crotchvelt's 1-0. And Compton watches it bounce in front of home plate. He's ahead in the count. 2 balls and no strikes. Extended that 8-game hit streak, or 8-game on base streak, to 9 games. Compton did in this ball game by reaching twice. Has also scored a run. Kettleers putting leadoff men on in the third and fourth innings. And Compton trying to do that here as the count is elevated to 3 balls and no strikes as that one misses everything high and away.
Compton's had a really productive day at the plate, worked a walk, of course, had that single and much needed after scuffling despite that long on base streak.
The 3-0 pitch, and Crotchfeld gets over top, but yeah, a long on base streak for him, and to be able to get on base while you're not really being productive with your bat is still huge and a big reason as to why he's been able to stay in the lineup.
Picked up RBI number 10 on that RBI single.
Here's the 3-1, and Crotchfeld misses way up high, and Brandon Compton heads to first for the third time today. The third leadoff man reaches for the Kets here in the sixth.
The bottom of the order for the Kettleers have been ultra productive. Compton has reached in all 3 plate appearances. Timo Becerra, who's about to dig in, he's 2 for 2. Jaron Advincula, he reached on a fielder's choice. Matt Klein's had productive at-bats, and that's exactly what you want to see from the bottom of your order, setting the tone and putting runners on base for the middle of your lineup.
Compton runs out to a 4-step lead at first as the first pitch to Timo Becerra, the right-hander, watches it go by at 0-1. An interesting lead there from Compton, kind of stutter stepping about 6 feet beyond the bag, trying to get Crotchfeld to pay attention to him and not the batter Becerra, who's had a great day at the plate. He's 2 for 2. Crotchfeld takes a couple looks at first. Compton dances around there as the pitch is flared high down the first base line, and that will reach the seats here at Doran Park. 0-2 the count to Timo Becerra. Coming off of his third season at Stanford. Didn't play as a freshman in 2022 when they won the Pac-12 championship. Went on to make 11 starts in 2023. They also won the Pac-12 championship that year. And getting much more playing time this past spring. The 0-2 pitch. Bounces in front of home plate, blocked by Gravlin. And he's up with it looking back to first and delivers it back to his pitcher. Runner stays put, and now the count 1-2.
Gravlin's made a couple of stops behind the plate. Haven't seen too many wild pitches from this Bourne pitching staff, and have to give credit to Gravlin behind the dish.
Ever so important when that leadoff runner gets on base. They still have an opportunity to turn 2 if a ground ball is hit. That's what Crotchfeld's trying to do here. It's dribbled on the ground towards third. Penny throws to second for 1, delivered to first by Kozel, and it's in time there. Not in time as he actually beats that out up the first base line. A delayed call from the umpire, and Becerra beats it out, a fielder's choice, and unable to make a double play. Would have been the first of the game for the Braves. That'll have to wait, and there's one gone for Jaron Advincula.
Becerra just legging out that ball. Was a bang-bang play at first, and the delayed call didn't help the suspense of that play, but Becerra reaching for the third time today.
Couple close calls there at first today. Becerra, a big lead there, and Jaron Advincula watches strike 1 go by.
Rick Antonio's a big fan of suspense. I can tell. He's waited a long time for a couple of these calls.
He has. Timo takes off, headed to second. The ball gets away from the catcher, and he'll dive in there safely. So Becerra has his first stolen base as a Kettleer. Couldn't have come at a better time with 1 gone here in the top of the 6th inning. Kettleers now with a runner in scoring position and their hottest hitter at the plate.
Yeah, you said it best, Joe. This is the perfect guy that you want to have up with runners in scoring position. Advincula has crushed lefties, righties, everyone this year, and now having Becerra standing in scoring position, a big spot.
Advincula spoils 1 foul, high out of play to the left side. Keeps the count at 1-2. So Advincula with Becerra on second. has a chance to bat in a fellow former Pac-12 player. I guess you have to say former now. Crotchfeldt's 1-2. Advincula reaches out over the plate, shoots it down the left field line, just past the glove of Jack Penny. Down the left field line, Becerra charging around third. He will come in and score standing up as Advincula advances to second. An RBI double gives the Kettleers a 4-3 lead here in the top of the sixth.
What a swing from Jaron Advincula, pitch on the outer half of the plate, just flaring his hands out and just perfectly placing that ball right on that left field line. A perfect hit driving in Timo Becerra, and we were talking about it, how hot Jaron Advincula has been this year. That's his third double and couldn't have come at a bigger moment.
Third double of the season for Advincula ties him for the team lead with Tyler Cerny at 3. Matt Klein, the batter. Advincula gets into a large secondary lead as Klein fans through a first pitch fastball, 0-1. So Klein making a difference in both of his plate appearances so far. Single in the third and then sacrifice fly in the fourth. That tied the ball game at 3-3, and he now has a chance to put the Kets up 2 in this sixth frame. The pitch from Crotchfeldt is fouled straight back into the screen. So even while Crotchfeldt has struggled and given up the lead in this inning, has been able to get ahead of these batters.
He's doing a good job attacking this Cotuit lineup, giving them pitches to hit, and Kettleers working deep in accounts, fouling pitches off, and saw that in the Advincula at bat, but Crotchfeldt throwing a lot of strikes so far.
0-2. Klein, line shot over the shortstop, and that gets down into left center field for a base hit. Advincula running around third. The throw is going to get cut off by the pitcher as he dives in headfirst safely. And Matt Klein moves up to second, an RBI double for him. And the Kettleers make it a 5-3 lead, and Jaron Advincula is slow to get up after colliding with the catcher at home plate, Gravlin. He was guarding that home plate, and Advincula, with a lot of speed, a head full of steam into the plate too. Nearly a close play, and looks like he's going to be okay as he makes the slow walk back to the dugout.
Advincula had a big jump off of second base there, and took the turn, nearly stumbled around the third base bag, but picked up a full head of steam and just went with a head-first dive, and looked like his knee just collided with Gravlin there, but a good sign that he appears to be okay. And another big hit for Matt Klein.
It'll go down as an RBI single. He advances to second on the throw. The first pitch is snow cone by Gravlin. Had to reach way high and to his right into the left-hand batter's box to receive the first pitch on Nolan Naraki. It's 1-0. And now a mound visit from Scott Landers. He heads out to talk with Crotchfeldt, who has really ran into some issues in this top of the sixth inning. The Kettleers have already brought 2 runs across, and the top of the order will be having their looks at Crotchfeldt for the first time, but the Braves will go to the bullpen in the midst of this sixth frame. With Cotuit leading 5-3, don't go away from Dorn Park.
Since 1980, the O'Rourke family has been catering Cape Cod clam bakes, making your events delicious and memorable. Founded by Jake O'Rourke, Jake's Clam Bakes has become a beloved tradition, now carried on by his son, Dan. Choose from our menu options, and on the day of your clam bake, their crew will come to your site and steam a fresh, mouth-watering clam bake just for you. It's that easy. Call us at 833-252-6285 or visit our new takeout location at Building 6 on 3821 Route 28 in Marston's Mills. Email us at dan@jakesclambakes.com with your event details, number of guests, date, time, location, and any special requests like a raw bar, homemade desserts, or kids menu. Not catering? Try their takeout menu featuring lobster rolls, smash burgers, salads, sandwiches, and a smoothie bar. Jake's Clam Bakes, making Cape Cod gatherings unforgettable.
Coastal Rentals is the place to go for professional landscape and construction equipment. Whether you need tools and equipment for commercial use or for your own projects, Coastal Rentals has what you need. Purchasing gear is also available. Check out Coastal Rentals today.
For nearly 2 decades, Coastal Irrigation has proudly provided top-notch irrigation and landscape lighting services across Cape Cod. Starting with just a handful of customers in Cotuit, they now serve nearly all of the Cape. Upgrade your lawn care with their modern irrigation systems. No more dragging around hoses or worrying about watering while you're away. Their systems ensure your grass stays healthy and green effortlessly. Transform your home with Coastal Irrigation's landscape lighting services. Enhance your outdoor gatherings, improve safety, and boost curb appeal with their affordable, low-voltage lighting solutions. Illuminate your walkways and highlight architectural details to make your home shine. Contact Coastal Irrigation at 508-428-1529 or info@coastalirrigation.net.
Back from Doran Park, Kettleers have already scored 2 in this top of the 6th inning, and that draws a new pitcher into the game for the Bourne Braves. Griffin Hughes will get his first looks on the Kettleers this summer. Bourne wearing the Red Shirt Friday uniforms, the red shirts with the Cape Cod script across the front of it, camouflage design, camouflage number on the back as well, matching well with the Bourne red colors that they usually wear. As the 1-0 pitch and the at-bat continues to Nolan Naraki, the pitch misses up high with the fastball, and the count is 2-0. Naraki, tough day at the plate so far today. He's 0 for 3. Pair of flyouts and a ground out. Runner on second is Matt Klein, infield tugged to the pull side. Naraki, the righty, backs up off the plate and takes a strike 1. Hughes making his 3rd appearance of the summer. Last time out against Falmouth a week ago, an inning pitched, gave up 3 hits and earned run. Walked 2, struck out 1. Naraki lays down the bunt right in front of the mound. Hughes up to get it, throws to first, and the ball pops out of the glove of the first baseman, Michelle. Running up the first base line, Naraki may have jarred it loose. And Michelle, a bit shaken up after that play. He will be safe at first as Naraki. Klein moves up to third. And a mishap there once more on the infield by the Braves extends this inning.
It's a really nice bunt from Naraki there, making Hughes come off the mound. Had a strong throw over to first base, and Michelle had that ball in his glove, but popped out for a moment as Naraki and Michelle collided, and goes in the favor of the Kettleers, as now they have runners on the corners. Here in a big spot for Tanner Thatch, only with 1 out.
First error on the day by the Braves. It's on the pitcher, line shot, deep center field. Going back on it is Stanfield. He will make the grab, edging the fence in straightaway center as Matt Klein will charge in from third, and he will score. So despite the long fly out, Tanner Thatch still with a quality at bat there to give the Kets now a 6-3 lead.
Thatch gave that ball a ride, thought it was nearly his 4th home run this summer. Came just a few feet of it, but sac fly will do as he brings in Klein, and now Cotuit starting to pull away here, up 3.
Hughes now with just the runner on first and 2 gone for Tyler Cerny. He comes set now, pirouettes and throws to first. Diving back in there is Naraki. Hughes working primarily from the stretch with the all-black glove, brings it beneath his belt, now in front of his chest, ready to throw this first pitch to Cerny. It misses low and outside. 1-0. So pretty straight up delivery from Hughes. Feet are parallel on the mound on the first base side. Spins the ball around in his left mitt. The 0-1 pitch. Just outside and called a strike 1. That actually sends the count to 1-1 on Cerny. Going up against Hughes, Griffin Hughes, coming off of a season at Cincinnati where he made 13 appearances, one of which was a start. And now the 1-1 pitch. Reaching out over the plate is Cerny. Taps it off the end of the bat. And over to first is Hughes, an underhand flip there. And Tyler Cerny goes down as the 3rd out in this top of the 3rd inning. Not before the Kettleers bring home 3 more runs, and they lead it 6-3 as we go to the bottom of the 6th here on the Kettleers Radio Network.
For over 40 years, Vollmer & Son Construction has proudly served its community, providing a wide range of construction services, from bathroom renovations to complete home remodels. When you work with Vollmer & Son, you are being taken care of by natives of Cape Cod who support the community by using local suppliers and subcontractors. Vollmer & Son Construction, a proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers.
With 30 plus years of personal injury litigation and insurance negotiation experience, Snow Law Firm is your go-to for wrongful injuries and rightful compensation. Snow Law Firm will secure the maximum amount of compensation available through settlement or trial. Schedule a free case evaluation by calling 508-477-7100.
Since 1995, MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating has been your trusted commercial and residential plumbing contractor in Massachusetts. They specialize in new and rehabilitation work, gas and pipe fitting, climate control, heating, HVAC, oil burner work, boiler installation, radiant heat, forced hot water, air conditioning, and duct and sheet metal fabrication services. Founded and owned by Michael Pasic, a team of 9 skilled professionals is dedicated to providing top quality service. MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating is registered with the Massachusetts.
Here's Cam Kogel. Out of Vanderbilt, he's 0 for 2 today. Facing Michael Ebner, who works into another inning of work. A first pitch, swinging a lazy fly just beyond the infield. Tyler Cerny ranging back, and with a small leap, hauls in out number 1 to start off this bottom of the 6th. Though Kogel goes back to 0 for 3, and now Davis Gillespie, searching for his first hit, digs in.
Michael Ebner continues to pour in strikes, get the first pitch pop up here against Camden Kogel, and weak contact has been the name of the game for Ebner.
Yeah, more weak contact drawn there from Ebner. Starts off the next batter, Davis Gillespie, with a ball down low, working from the stretch. The righty throws a breaking ball that's hit on a high chop towards second. Advincula charging in, throws on the run, well in time at first to get Gillespie there. Nice play on the infield by both of these guys in the middle infield, Cerny and Advincula.
So Advincula looks to be completely fine. Saw him shaking off that knee after the slide into home, but charging in hard, making the smooth play. That's a difficult play for Advincula. High chopper, he had to run in a long way, but fields it cleanly and makes the underhand flip, and couldn't have asked for a better start to the inning for Michael Ebner.
Definitely super efficient, and that's been the case throughout his first 5 2/3 innings going into this appearance. A first pitch fastball misses low and away to Garrett Michelle. And more on that play from Advincula. It's a good point you bring up. He maybe made it look easy, but really not an easy ground ball to judge at all, as the next pitch misses low and inside. A high chop, you kind of need to stay back and wait on the ball if you have enough time. If not, you have to charge in on it and maybe play it off a short hop. Advincula decided to charge in on it. Made a really nice play. 2-0 pitch to Michelle, misses up and away.
We saw Tyler Cerny have a ground ball earlier, eat him up on a ball that he decided to wait back on. So maybe Advincula saw that play, noticed that he had to charge in and make the easy play.
Ebner misses high with the fourth pitch to Garrett Michelle. So cruising through the first 2 batters of this inning. With 2 gone, a 4-pitch walk to Michelle extends this frame. Matthew Gravlin will dig in with the runner on first. Gravlin is 0 for 2. He reached in the second on a fielder's choice and came around to score. After that, grounded into a double play. So the runner on first is Garrett Michelle. He has a 4-step lead there, and the pitch is high to Gravlin, 1-0. Michelle, 1 stolen base on the season going into this game, none today. 5 for the Braves, though, as a team, as the 1-0 pitch is off the end of the bat, skied over our right shoulders and onto one of the many houses that surrounds this property around the baseball field. One of the Kets interns trying to make a good play on that ball. Diving stab by Chris Jones as it was rolling off the wall, and now another pop-up to the same area, into the seats, and now it finds the first row of the grassy berm, and one lucky fan will go away with that baseball. It's not Chris Jones, though.
It isn't. Chris Jones nearly had that first pop, but with the full extension, just couldn't haul that ball in.
1-2, low and outside, cold, strike 3. Down goes Matthew Gravlin, and down go the Braves in this bottom of the 6th frame. So the Kettleers taking a 6-3 lead into the 7th inning. And now we'll check in with our sideline reporter, Adele Huffman, who has more.
Thanks, Joe. Looking at the West Division rankings, the West Division is comprised of the Bourne Braves, Cotuit Kettleers, Hyannis Harbor Hawks, Falmouth Commodores, and the Wareham Gatemen. Cotuit is in the top two, falling closely behind Wareham. Wareham with a 9-2 record so far, and Cotuit standing at 7-4. With a tough start this season, it's great to see that the Kets can put that behind them and bring in enough wins to get so far up on the leaderboard, Joe.
Yeah, and a great one tomorrow night as the Gatemen and Kettleers squaring off for the second time. It was a fantastic ball game the first time these two teams played at Spillane Field. And, interesting, this is the last team that the Kettleers haven't played. The 10th, or I guess the 9th other team that they could play on the schedule. And finally getting a chance to take on the team that knocked them out of the playoffs just a year ago.
And it's been a game that Cotuit has had circled on its calendars for a while. Like you mentioned, the team that ended their season just a year ago. So Kettleers having revenge on their mind. And it was a slow start today, but once again, another comeback in this long line of seasons. Saw the comeback against Falmouth earlier this year. And while you don't always want to play from behind and making that a habit, Cotuit has done a good job battling back in games, working deep in accounts, and you're seeing that again today. Trailing by 3 runs after the first 2 innings, they really bared down, got quality pitching, and then the bats came alive.
Yeah, and hopefully this bullpen is able to settle things down. Bourne haven't scored a run since the bottom of the second inning. So a great job from them so far. Michael Ebner working well into this game, but still a lot of baseball to be played as we move into the final 3. So some great information from Adele as always. The Kettleers will be taking on the Gatemen tomorrow night, the 2 best teams in the West Division. Let's take a look at some scores around the league right now. Everybody in action around the Cape Cod Baseball League. Wareham down to Hyannis right now, 12-3 in the top of the 4th inning. Kian Vu will lead off the inning for the Kettleers here in the top of the 7th. Facing Griffin Hughes, who's out there again, and the first pitch, a fastball on a straight line down the middle for strike 1. Kian Vu has reached once in this game, came around to score after being hit by the pitch to lead off the 4th inning. Other than that, a ground out and a strikeout. Vu takes a breaking ball low and inside. Didn't like the call, but he goes back to 0-2. Harwich leading against Falmouth 2-0 in the top of the 6th right now. Hughes is 0-2. Misses low. Tried to get Vu to chase after the breaking ball in the dirt. 1-2. Orleans already finished up against Brewster, YD, and Chatham. Their game is already concluded as the 1-2 pitch misses everything. Back to the screen. Hughes will have to reset at 2-2. Orleans a 5-2 win against Brewster. Brewster, of course, beating the Kettleers 10-7 last night at Lowell Park. And an 8-2 win for the Red Sox over Chatham at Red Wilson Field. The 2-2. Vu takes upstairs, so from 0-2 to 3-2 we go, and another good at bat worked by Kian Vu. Righty on lefty matchup. Vu awaits. 3-2 pitch, fouled straight back. So Vu able to stay alive. You mentioned earlier on in the broadcast his great batting average this past season at Arizona State, .413. Led the Pac-12 in batting average. Now he takes low and inside, ball 4. Vu flings the bat towards the first base dugout, and he walks his way to that first base bag for the second time today, both of which in leadoff fashion.
The right fielder from Clemson University, number 21.
So again, another
Ethan
quality at bat
Hall.
put together by Vu, and a player who played a lot at the beginning of the year and haven't seen him recently. Didn't play yesterday. Was used as a pinch hitter against YD, but coming in, getting hit by a pitch, scoring, working a walk here, and that's exactly what you want to do. Get on base as the leadoff man.
Nathan Hall tips the first pitch he sees into the glove of Gravlin. Yeah, nice to see there as a great battle worked by Kian Vu. He was down in the count 0-2 and now takes a 5-step lead at first base. The 0-1 count to Nate Hall, who is 1 for 3. Gonna have to wait as they check back at first, and they got him. Kian Vu was far off the bag there, getting into his secondary lead, and Garrett Michelle applies the tag, tumbles over, but hangs on to it. And so just as Vu is able to work his way on to first to start off this inning, He is quickly retired on a nice pickoff move from Griffin Hughes, and there's one gone. The next pitch to Naraki misses low and outside, 1-1.
Vu was well off that first base bag, and Hughes keeping a close eye on him, but really a nice tag from Garrett Michelle there, just slapping it on him. His throw pulled him off just a moment, but Vu taking such a big lead was an easy tag for Michelle.
Michelle been beat up over there at first today. That one going his way. The next pitch to Nathan Hall, missed low and outside. The next one, shot down the left field line. Into the left field corner it goes. Hall rounding around first. He will run into second standing up as it was booted by Holcomb in the left field corner, but he relays it into his third baseman, and Nathan Hall improves to 2 for 4 on the day with a double.
The ball just explodes off Nathan Hall's bat. That was an absolute rocket down the third base line. Just a blistering double for Hall as he reaches for the second time today as Holcomb bobbled that ball, but just another strong relay throw into the infield. We've seen him display his strong arm a bunch of times out in left field.
Hall with his lead at second. And now Hughes working with another runner in scoring position. He misses up and away to Brandon Compton. Great day at the plate for him. 1 for 1, 2 walks, an RBI single. And a chance to drive in one more here. The 1-0. Fastball fanned at and missed. Low in the zone, and Compton elevates it to 1-1. It's a really great move by Hughes on that nifty pickoff to get Kian Vu. And all the more important, especially after seeing that double hit by Nathan Hall.
That's exactly right. With Vu having great speed off of first, and especially with Holcomb bobbling that ball, could have easily been a 7-3 ball game, but a nice pickoff move eliminated him, and just now Hall stands on second.
Compton takes low and outside, called strike 2. So 2-2 the count to him. We were talking about his struggles in the games other than the 2 last week against YD and at Harwich, where he went 5 for 10 as Compton lifts it down the left field line, but it twists out of play, foul. Seemingly a get-right day at the plate for Compton as he's reached in all 3 plate appearances, has been able to maintain that on-base streak. But it'd be great to see him re-energize the bat at the plate. The 2-2 pitch is upcoming from Hughes. Breaking ball, shot on the ground hard down the first base line, but foul. Compton ahead of that breaking ball.
And Compton's such a dangerous hitter. We saw it this past season at Arizona State in 52 games at .354, blasted 14 home runs, drove in 51 RBIs, and even displayed the power so far this summer with the 2 home runs in those 2 games. But definitely a big game for him, picking up his 10th RBI and getting on base in all 3 at-bats.
The 2-2, he reaches out over the plate and twists it deep down the left field line, and it will get out of play. And a good battle worked here by Brandon Compton. So while he's been able to get on base in each of his first 3 plate appearances, he has also been able to make these pitchers work. This time it's against Griffin Hughes with the runner on second. Hall takes a 10-foot lead there, dancing around as Hughes takes a look at him, and Compton laces one straight back and foul.
4 straight foul balls off the bat of Brandon Compton. 8 pitches so far in this at-bat, and this is exactly what you want to see here, working tough at-bats, especially with Nathan Hall standing in scoring position. You want to make Hughes come to you here, and Compton's doing that.
He misses up and away, and Compton elevates the count to 3-2. So now it will be a 10-pitch at-bat for Brandon Compton. The 28th pitch is upcoming from Griffin Hughes, who comes set with the black glove just in front of his chest. The 3-2 pitch is a fastball, squared up but hit high down the left field line, giving chase Jack Penny in foul territory, but he runs out of room. Another foul ball by Brandon Compton, and this at-bat is still going. So we were talking about the lack of foul territory deep down the left field line. Compton taking advantage of it 3 times in this at-bat.
Definitely coming into play as Compton just doing an excellent job staying alive here. 11 pitches in this at-bat.
The payoff again. Compton laces it to left center field, tracking back Holcomb into the alleyway, goes to a slide and makes the grab. So a great at-bat for Brandon Compton, an even better play in left field by Braden Holcomb to keep this score at 6-3, keep Nathan Hall on second base, and now there are two gone for Timo Becerra.
What a battle between Compton and Griffin Hughes there, and Compton got a pitch that he could drive and really lace that into the left center field gap, but I have to give credit to Braden Holcomb tracking that ball the entire way, going into a slide, making a really difficult catch.
Timo Becerra takes a breaking ball down the heart of the plate for strike one. Griffin Hughes getting ahead in the count again, but still having to work incredibly hard in this top of the seventh inning. This will be his 31st pitch. The 0-1 is low and outside. Becerra 1-1 the count to him. 2 for 3, a double in the second, single in the fourth. Reached on a fielder's choice in the sixth, but scored his first run of the game. Now the 1-1. Becerra launches it deep down the right field line, giving chase Michelle into foul territory. The hat pops off and trying to make a basket grab, but it bounces right in front of him and goes out of play. So there's a bit more foul territory down that first base line. But of course, only 300 down the right field line before it juts out to 360 just in front of the Kettleers bullpen. It's 395 to straightaway center, where a couple of flags stand by their waysides at the top of that pole. Not much wind above Doran Park. The 1-2 pitch. Becerra takes outside. And 330 down the left field line. So the middle infielders pinching the bag at second. Third baseman Penny, medium depth third. The 2-2. Becerra gets it in off his hands and fights it off foul down the first base line, out of play. So fans with their lawn chairs down the left field line just beyond the third base bag before the landing drops off and it's just flat ground at the same level as the field towards the left field corner. The same can be said down the right field line. The 2-2 pitch from Timo Becerra, or to Timo Becerra, is low and inside, called strike three. Griffin Hughes escapes the inning and lets out a fist bump as he walks his way back to the Bourne dugout on that third base side. So Cotuit, a 6-3 lead. They are unable to bring home any runs in the top of that seventh inning and bring a 3-run lead into the bottom of the seventh here at Doran Park.
Coastal Rentals is the place to go for professional landscape and construction equipment. Whether you need tools and equipment for commercial use or for your own projects, Coastal Rentals has what you need. Purchasing gear is also available. Check out Coastal Rentals today.
For nearly 2 decades, Coastal Irrigation has proudly provided top-notch irrigation and landscape lighting services across Cape Cod. Starting with just a handful of customers in Cotuit, they now serve nearly all of the Cape. Upgrade your lawn care with their modern irrigation systems. No more dragging around hoses or worrying about watering while you're away. Their systems ensure your grass stays healthy and green effortlessly. Transform your home with Coastal Irrigation's landscape lighting services. Enhance your outdoor gatherings, improve safety, and boost curb appeal with their affordable, low-voltage lighting solutions. Illuminate your walkways and highlight architectural details to make your home shine. Contact Coastal Irrigation at 508-428-1529 or info@coastalirrigation.net.
Operating on Cape Cod since 1988, Advanced Embroidery has garnered national awards in embroidery and screen printing. They offer screenings on golf shirts, Oxford shirts, jackets, t-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, and bags. Advanced Embroidery will print your company's or team's logos anywhere. Thousands of satisfied customers can attest for Advanced Embroidery's attentive customer service, tight quality control, and quick turnaround time. They're open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Michael Ebner is back on the mound. His first pitch is a breaking ball low and inside to Chris Stanfield, 1-0. Decent day at the plate for Stanfield, who entered this game with a batting average below 200. Ebner's next pitch sends a high chop, but foul down the third base line. Stanfield entering this game 8 for 42. has reached on an error in the second inning, a single in the fourth. He's 1 for 1 with a pair of stolen bags. Actually 1 for 2. A run scored to go along with it. Here's the 1-1 pitch from Ebner. Breaking ball that's on a string but falls low and inside. 2-1.
Stanfield usually the primary leadoff hitter for this Bourne team. First time not hitting in that leadoff spot as he hits in the 9-hole.
Now takes a fastball down low, 2-2. So Bourne kind of going with the strategy that Cotuit has had, where you have Jaron Advincula, who leads the team in batting average, kind of hidden down at the bottom of the order. The 2-2, Stanfield thought about swinging. He did not go, though, and the count's 3-2.
Stanfield's a very productive hitter, just has struggled out of the gate so far this summer, hitting just 205.
The payoff pitch, hard hit on the ground, just past the third base bag and foul. So another hard hit ball by Stanfield. And the count's still 3-2 to him. A returner to this Bourne roster, played 9 games for the Braves last summer. A .313 hitter, was 10 for 32. The 3-2 again from Ebner. Hard hit down the left field line, but twisting foul. It rattles off the base of that fence down that left field line, so nearly able to pull that one down into the field of play. Chris Stanfield. Couple of hard hit balls in this at bat against Michael Ebner, who allowed his first base run of the season last inning. As the next pitch misses low and outside on the off speeder. And Stanfield heads to first with a walk. So last inning, Ebner walking the first batter of his season. Entered this game throwing 5 2/3 innings, didn't walk anybody, didn't give up any hits, and struck out 6. But 2 walks so far today. No hits on him so far, as Jack Penny will dig in to face Ebner for the second time.
This is a big spot so far. Penny has put together a couple of really quality at-bats, had the 2 RBI single, and of course had that ground ball that Tyler Cerny made the excellent play up the middle on.
Ebner will check back at first, and Stanfield dives in safely. Of course, Stanfield with 2 stolen bases already in this ball game. Definitely will want to pay a close eye on him, as the pitch is a fastball at knee height to Penny, called a strike 1. So Penny, coming off a summer with the Orleans Firebirds a year ago, was a Cape League All-Star. Played in the championship series against the Braves, went 3 for 13 as the 0-1 pitch is popped up just beyond the infield, giving chase. Naraki into foul territory, and along the fence line, he locates it and hauls it down. Having to reach back behind his body, he was reaching with his right hand to the top of the fence in foul ground just beyond that Bourne dugout. And he pulls down a critical first out of this 7th inning.
Clay Grady.
That was an extremely tough catch from Nolan Naraki there to battle the fence, battle the net. Of course, trying to track that ball in the lights there, but an excellent grab by him for a crucial first out of the inning.
1 out with the runner on first, and now Clay Grady will dig in. The first pitch to him will have to wait. Stanfield dives in on the first base bag. Stanfield wearing those white pants above his knees, showing off those long blue socks, and now he takes off on the first pitch. Throw down from Klein is not in time, but hitter interference is going to be called. So the batter, Clay Grady, watching that pitch all the way in, and then stepped in front of Matt Klein, who was trying to throw that one down to second. He did make contact with Klein, and quickly the home plate umpire made that call. So there are going to be now 2 gone in this inning, and the runner returning to first base. So Scott Landers wanted a word with the home plate umpire after that call. He's not happy, but will be walking back up to the third base coach's box. And a new batter digging in, Ethan Conrad.
That's the second time that we've seen this in back-to-back games, of course, in yesterday's contest, but this time just Grady stepping right in front of the path of Matt Klein, who, even despite the interference, made a strong throw down to second. But a big break there for the Kettleers, as now it's another out in the inning. Stanfield goes back to first, and Never want to have a runner in scoring position, especially with a hitter like Ethan Conrad digging in.
So the Cats catch a break there, and there's 2 gone for Ethan Conrad, who takes down low, ball 1. Conrad reached twice in this game. He also has a pair of stolen bases. A fielder's choice in the first inning, a single in the third, and then a ground out in the 5th. Ebner checks back at first. Stanfield dives in again. The third time, they'll pick off towards him. And rightfully so. 3 stolen base attempts, 2 total in this game. A big lead. And now the 1-0 pitch gets into his secondary as that one's tipped into the glove of Matt Klein. Off the end of the bat of Ethan Conrad, and the count is 1-1. Conrad fulfilling something that he wanted to do as a kid for a long time. Said he always wanted to play in the Cape. And throughout his short time here in these first 4 games, said everyone is friendly and welcoming as it's a foul ball straight back towards our broadcast setup. 1-2 the count. You would have had that, Cam. Our producer sitting right next to us, Alex, that was right at him.
Oh, he was ready. Getting in that fielding stance right there. Maybe even trying to barehand it. Saw Tyler Cerny try and barehand a ground ball earlier. Cam might have won up Tyler Cerny.
Stanfield is nearly nabbed at first, but he is able to beat the throw from Ebner, and the at-bat continues. He will get back into his lead. 1-2 the count to Conrad. Ebner comes set with the corners in, middle infielders back. Fastball in off the hands. He laces it towards left field. Going back on it is Compton, and he pulls it down for out number 3. So after the leadoff walk from Chris Stanfield, the Braves are unable to do anything with that base runner as a batter interference call bails the Kettleers out. And still a 6-3 ball game as we go to the top of the 8th here on the Kettleers Digital Network.
Escape the summer heat at Polar Cave Ice Cream Parlor, located on Route 28 in Mashpee, right at the Barnstable town line. Our creamy, homemade ice cream flavors will delight your taste buds. Plus, Kettleers kids get a free comb on home game days. Call us at 508-477-5553 or email info@polarcave.com to learn more. Come chill with us and experience the coolest treats on Cape Cod.
RCA Electric and Generators is dedicated to helping homeowners and building contractors select, purchase, install, and maintain the ideal generator for their specific needs. Since being founded by Randy Agnew in 1990, this Barnstable-based family-run business has grown its reputation by serving all of Cape Cod, the South Shore, and the South Coast. Get in touch today by reaching out to RCA at 508-428-0449 or visit in person at 153 Commercial Street in Mashpee.
Top of the 8th inning, Kettleers will have their first looks on Joe Arriola, the new pitcher into the game for the Braves. So it was Zane Adams to get the start. He went 4 innings. Zach Crotchfeld, Griffin Hugas, and now Joe Arriola, the 6'2" reliever, left-handed pitcher, 180-pounder out of New York. With the glove in front of his face, goes into his windup. Jaron Advincula takes a strike 1 low and inside. 0-1 the count to him. Entered his last at-bat 0 for 2 before launching an RBI double. His third of the season. The 0-1 pitch misses low and away on the breaking ball. 1-1 to Advincula. And has really been on a tear since being pinch hit for in Game 3 of the season. The 1-1 pitch. Advincula, hard hit on the ground and past the diving stab by Clay Grady and into left field for a base hit. So a low spinner off the end of the bat from Jaron Advincula. And now 2 for 4 on the day he goes with a single to lead off the 8th. The 5th leadoff man to reach for the Cats today.
Advincula not trying to do too much there, just hitting it hard on the ground, and Grady shaded up the middle, had to go back and using the backhand, just that ball evading his glove. So the second hit for Advincula today.
Ball gets away from Gravelin. Advincula hustles up to second. And the Cats will have a runner in scoring position with nobody gone. Matt Klein is the batter. Had some runners in scoring position in his last 2 plate appearances, a sacrifice fly and an RBI single. Has driven in 2 today as Matt Klein, batting at the 9 spot in the order, which is where Advincula usually has been. But now he's standing on second, the 9-man. Klein flares one high and foul. Jack Penny giving chase into foul territory, but it hits off of the net halfway up it down the left field line. And Klein is able to stay alive. So you brought up earlier, Alex, Matt Klein's hype coming out of high school, and then went into his 2023 season at Louisville where he was going to battle for the starting catching job. But 10 games into the season, his year was cut short with an injury, and he was sidelined for the rest of that year as he tips that one, but fouls it off, and it's still 1-2. Went on to have a great season this year for the Cardinals, though. .291 in 46 games. 1-2, bounced in front of home plate. 2-2 the count now. Infield will be playing straight up for Matt Klein. Shortstop Grady is holding Advincula on at second. Outfield playing straight up. The 2-2 pitch. Klein rolls it on the ground, gloved by the pitcher. Throwing back to second, they got Advincula in a rundown. To shortstop goes Grady, the throw to third, and Advincula evades the tag of Penny to slide in safely. So Penny was off the bag at third and up that line, but he had to stay out of the line. Advincula was running towards third and slides underneath the tag of Penny, so the Kettleers will have runners on first and third with nobody out.
The elusiveness and speed from Jaron Advincula on display as Penny was up the third baseline and had a serious chance to tag it out Advincula, but eludes the tag, slides in safely. So great speed from Advincula there.
So they were trying to get the lead runner. It comes back to bite them. Pitch is in there on the first one to Nolan Naraki. Lineup card flips back over to the top. Naraki is 0 for 4. A bunt, and he reached on an error in the 6th. 0-1 pitch, skipped in there, and a nice block by Gravelin, whose job becomes all that more important with that runner just 90 feet away. So the pitcher, Joe Arriola, working in his 4th appearance of the season for the Braves. And now comes set with the tan glove just in front of his belt. The 1-1 pitch. Naraki watches it go by just beneath knee height, 2-1. Arriola working with a fastball, curveball, cutter, and splitter. Coming off of his 2024 season where he made 16 appearances and posted a 4.85 ERA. The 2-1 pitch. Naraki shoots it high down the right field line, but that will get well out of play towards the foul pole, or actually towards the light pole that surround Doran Park, all of which are on, with light blue skies overhead, starting to darken here at Bourne. The 2-2 pitch. Naraki checks his swing. Did he go around? He did not, says the first base umpire, and the count will be full. And there's a massive football field above left center. Big piles of dirt in right center as well, as the construction project that was going on here at Doran Park for the past 2 years has since been completed, and it looks great. Great place to watch a game. The 3-2 to Naraki is inside, ball 4. So the Kettleers will load the bases in this 8th frame and bring up Tanner Thatch.
Kettleers putting quality at-bats together against
The first baseman from
the new arm, Arriola.
Number
Just a
30.
weak ground ball by Advincula. That got him on. Of course, the rundown play that Advincula managed to work his way out of. And then, of course, the nice walk here by Naraki and bringing up Tanner Thatch in a big spot. And Thatch is a guy who's delivered as of late 3 home runs in his last 4 games and comes up with the bases loaded.
Corners will be in for Thatch. He takes low and outside, 1-0. Thatch made a difference his last time up, a sacrifice fly. Now takes a big hack at the next pitch, and it's 1-1. So Thatch working with the bases loaded. Naraki takes his lead at first, Matt Klein at second, Advincula at third, and now a foul ball off the catcher, Gravlin. He's shaken up, taking a beating back there today, and the count's 1-2 on Tanner Thatch. Both catchers have. A couple squeezing away from him. Gravlin lines up low and outside. The 1-2 pitch to Tanner Thatch. He chases after the breaking ball, and that's the first out of this inning. Goes down on strikes, does Thatch for the 3rd time today, and with the bases still juiced, here comes Tyler Cerny.
Arriola going with the breaking ball there to get Thatch fishing, and he was just well out in front in this at-bat, just never really got his timing down against the lefty.
Cerny's 1 for 4, and the pitch. Low and inside from Arriola. 1-0 to Cerny. Single in the 5th inning, and hard hit balls in the 1st and in the 6th. The 1-0 as Arriola goes into his delivery and misses low and inside once more. So really attacking that low and inside portion to these right-handed hitters. Was working low and outside on the lefty Tanner Thatch. Working quickly is Arriola. The 2-0 pitch misses high, gets away from Gravlin. Coming in from third, sliding in and safe with the feet first slide is Jaron Advincula. The tag was late from the pitcher Arriola, and both runners will move up into scoring position other than that as the 7th run comes in to score for the Kettleers.
The speed from Advincula on display once again. Like that rundown play here, and then just motoring down the line against a wild pitch. And saw Bourne, that's how they plated their first run when Jack Penny scored on a wild pitch all the way back in the bottom of the 1st. But now Cotuit scoring one here.
Cerny ahead in the count, 3-0. The next pitch rolled on the ground towards third, barely in foul ground. Just down that left field line on a 3-hopper from Cerny. It was gloved by Penny, and a nice job by Matt Klein to not get in the way of that baseball. He takes his lead at third. The 3-1 with the infield in. Cerny checks his swing, and he did not go as he is walking up that first base line with a 5-pitch walk. So Tyler Cerny reaches base for the 2nd time today, and a close call as that one was bounced in front of home plate. Cerny thought about swinging, but was able to hold up. So now here's Kian Vu. Reached on a hit by pitch and a walk so far today. Still looking for that first hit. The pitch from Arriola finds the dirt. 1-0. So Vu digs in with the bases juiced. Cerny a big lead at first. Hall a big lead at second, and now the breaking ball falls into the left-handed swinging outfielder out of Arizona State, and it's 1-1. So a lefty on lefty matchup, and Arriola able to work those off-speed pitches away from Vu. 1-1 pitch, big swing and a miss there at another breaking ball down in the zone. So 1-2 the count to Kian Vu. The infield was in for Tyler Cerny's at-bat. Now just the corners are in. Vu chases after another breaking pitch. He gets 3 of those in a row and comes up empty on the 2nd strikeout of the inning thrown by Joe Arriola. And there are 2 gone for Nathan Hall.
Arriola attacking Tanner Thatch and Kian Vu. Very similar. Going with the breaking ball in those 2 at-bats and just getting ahead of Vu and Thatch, having him well off balance. And really nice job controlling that breaking ball, and has a lot of movement.
Now his first pitch to Nathan Hall is low and outside. Ball 1 to Hall. Hall is 2 for 4. A double an inning ago in the 7th. He scored a run in the 4th after hitting a single. The 1-0 pitch. Hall watches a fastball go over the outside portion of the plate and even up the count at 1-1. So the Kettleers this season with the bases loaded, they've been successful. A 417 clip as it's rolled off of home plate and barely into foul territory on the swinging bunt. So down in the count goes Nathan Hall, 1-2. Kettleers hitting .417 with the bases juiced so far this season, 5 for 12. The 1-2. Hall goes down on strikes. Another breaking pitch from Joe Arriola ends this top of the 8th frame. So the Kettleers load the bases. They bring home 1 run to score, but then 3 strikeouts from Joe Arriola ends this frame. The Kettleers lead it 7-3 as we go to the bottom of the 8th here on the Kettleers Radio Network.
Coastal Rentals is the place to go for professional landscape and construction equipment. Whether you need tools and equipment for commercial use or for your own projects, Coastal Rentals has what you need. Purchasing gear is also available. Check out Coastal Rentals today.
For nearly 2 decades, Coastal Irrigation has proudly provided top-notch irrigation and landscape lighting services across Cape Cod. Starting with just a handful of customers in Cotuit, they now serve nearly all of the Cape. Upgrade your lawn care with their modern irrigation systems. No more dragging around hoses or worrying about watering while you're away. Their systems ensure your grass stays healthy and green effortlessly. Transform your home with Coastal Irrigation's landscape lighting services. Enhance your outdoor gatherings, improve safety, and boost curb appeal with their affordable, low-voltage lighting solutions. Illuminate your walkways and highlight architectural details to make your home shine. Contact Coastal Irrigation at 508-428-1529 or info@coastalirrigation.net.
Beacon Gardens is a full-service garden center right here in Mashpee. They sell a variety of landscaping materials and seasonal produce to both consumers and landscaping professionals around the Barnstable Village. Stop by and see all Beacon Gardens has to offer at 182 West Barnstable Road in Austerville.
Cheaper.
So a new pitcher enters the game for the Kettleers here in the bottom of the 8th inning. After Thatcher Hurd's day is done after 3 2/3 innings, Michael Ebner's day is done after he ate up a couple of innings for the Kettleers, and very important at that. But Jacob Schaefer will enter into this ball game as the third man used by Cody Colden's Kettleers, as Mike Roberts not being able to make today's game for the Kets. And he was around a team huddle yesterday saying how he wasn't going to be able to make this game. And Mike Roberts, the only other time or the last time he has missed a Kettleers game was when his son Brian Roberts played in the Major League All-Star game.
I'd say that's a fair reason to miss that.
Yeah.
To miss the game. Of course, seeing your son play in an All-Star game, but the Kettleers have done a good job playing under Cody Colden here. Bats have come alive as of late. And of course, you mentioned the pitching, and Mikey Ebner once again, 3 1/3, didn't allow a hit. Allowed his first 2 base runners today, but worked in and out of trouble in that inning, and just masterful stuff once again from Ebner.
Ebner still yet to allow a base hit on his young season, and now has completed 9 innings of work, 8 strikeouts with 2 walks. So now Jacob Schaefer is into the game. The tall right-handed thrower out of UNC Wilmington returns to Doran Park. The pitch is up high to the leadoff man in this 8th inning for Bourne, Braden Holcomb. Difficult day at the plate for the cleanup man, playing in left field out of Vanderbilt. He is 0 for 3, a pair of strikeouts, and now he goes after a breaking ball low and outside from Schaefer. Count 1-1. So Schaefer working into another appearance for the Kettleers this summer. Last time out against YD on the road at Red Wilson Field, as his next pitch is down low to Holcomb, 2-1. Worked 1 inning, didn't give up any hits, struck out 1 in the Kettleers' 9-2 win over the Red Sox. He threw just 6 pitches in that outing.
He's been very effective over his last 2 outings.
2-1 pitch tipped into the glove of Klein, and it's 2-2.
In his first 2 outings of the year, struggled, gave up 6 runs, 4 earned, but in the last 3 2/3 innings pitch over his last 2 outings has only allowed 1 hit and has struck out 5 hitters.
Next pitch misses low and outside. Klein backhands it in the lefty box, and the count's full. Yeah, great response for Schaefer and 2 walks. The 3-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. The 7th of the season for Jacob Schaefer and 3rd of the day for Braden Holcomb as he chases after a low and outside breaking ball.
Now batting.
Really nice
the
job
second
by
baseman
Schaefer
from
getting
Vanderbilt
ahead in that
University,
bat and just
number
going with the
47,
off-speed pitch to
Camden
fool Holcomb,
Kojal.
who struck out for the third time today, the first time swinging.
So Holcomb falls to 0 for 2, and now his Vanderbilt teammate, Cam Kojal, will have his fourth plate appearance. He is 0 for 3. Now takes a ball outside, 1-0 from Schaefer. Followed up that Harwich outing by allowing 3 earned runs in 1 inning against YD at home. But then 2 get-right appearances for him after that, as the 1-0 pitch misses low and inside on the slider, 2-0. So he was able to get his revenge on YD a couple of days ago at Red Wilson Field, but 2 2/3 innings at Brewster last weekend. Gave up just 1 hit and struck out 4. 2-0 pitch along the outer half and called to strike 1. Perfectly placed there by Jacob Schaefer. So Kojal, the batter, second baseman, down in the count 2-1 as the Kets infield will return to medium depth as it's chopped on the ground just beyond the mound. Charging in Cerny, and an easy throw down that second base line to Tanner Thatch for out number 2. Cerny been busy over there at short and has responded really well after that second inning error.
We've seen him make a
Now
lot of
batting,
plays over there at
from Southern
shortstop, and this
Mississippi,
time coming
number
in on the
18,
grass,
Davis
making the play and
Gillespie.
taking his time on the throw, double pump the throw because he knew he had a lot of time with Kojal running down the line, and makes a strong throw for the second out of the inning.
Schaefer's first pitch to Davis Gillespie draws a big swing and a miss on the slider that's low and outside. He's got great control of that slider right now. Infield and outfield playing straight up for Schaefer. 0-1 pitch is low and inside, and the slider is called a strike 2. Boy, that looked pretty low from here.
That's a tough strike call. Davis Gillespie rightfully upset with that strike 2 call.
Schaefer will take it. Now he's up in the count, 0-2 with 2 gone. The payoff pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. 3 up, 3 down for Jacob Schaefer as he nods his head up and down as he makes his way to the Kets dugout. And they still lead it 7-3 as we send things to the top of the 9th inning here on the Kettleers Radio Network.
RCA Electric and Generators is dedicated to helping homeowners and building contractors select, purchase, install, and maintain the ideal generator for their specific needs. Since being founded by Randy Agnew in 1990, this Barnstable-based family-run business has grown its reputation by serving all of Cape Cod, the South Shore, and the South Coast. Get in touch today by reaching out to RCA at 508-428-0449 or visit in person at 153 Commercial Street in Mashpee.
Escape the summer heat at Polar Cave Ice Cream Parlor, located on Route 28 in Mashpee, right at the Barnstable town line. Our creamy, homemade ice cream flavors will delight your taste buds. Plus, Kettleers kids get a free comb on home game days. Call us at 508-477-5553 or email info@polarcave.com to learn more. Come chill with us and experience the coolest treats on Cape Cod.
Operating on Cape Cod since 1988, Advanced Embroidery has garnered national awards in embroidery and screen printing. They offer screenings on golf shirts, Oxford shirts, jackets, t-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, and bags. Advanced Embroidery will print your company's or team's logos anywhere. Thousands of satisfied customers can attest for Advanced Embroidery's attentive customer service, tight quality control, and quick turnaround time. They're open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday on 38 Plant Road in Hyannis.
Top of the 9th inning from Doran Park, 7-3. Cotuit holds the advantage over the Bourne Braves, and important to note as we go into the first meeting between these two teams, the road team winning every single regular season game between these two squads last season. Cotuit going 3-0 right here at Doran Park, and the Braves winning 3 straight at Lowell Park, including 1 playoff game, and then they were able to take the season-long advantage, 5 wins to 3 losses. Cotuit falling 5 times last season, 2 in the playoffs to this Bourne team. So a new pitcher on the mound for the Braves to start off this top of the 9th inning and throw against the bottom half of this Kets lineup. who's done a lot of damage today and set the table for this top half. It'll be Brandon Compton, who is 1 for 2, a pair of walks and an RBI single. The first pitch he looks at is a fastball over the outer edge for strike 1. And Alex, a new pitcher into the game for the Bravos, making his 4th appearance of the summer. Excuse me, this is actually his 2nd appearance of the summer.
It's the lefty Justin Legurnick.
As it's flared down the left field line, high and out of play.
Legurnick made his first appearance this past Sunday against YD. Went 2/3 of an inning, allowed 1 hit, gave up 4 earned runs, walked 3. And walks have been an issue for Legurnick. In 9 appearances at Clemson, walked 11 batters in just 6 2/3 innings pitched.
Yeah, really didn't get too large of a sample size this year, did Legurnick, as the 0-1 pitch from him is leaned after and swatted into left center field. That's going to sink down for a base hit. Brandon Compton continues his strong play at the dish today. Not trying to do too much with that one again. Just lifts it over the shortstop and into left field for his 2nd single.
Compton's reached in 4 out of his 5 plate appearances today, worked the 2 walks, and now picking up his 2nd single, and definitely a get-right day for scuffling Brandon Compton. Extended his on-base streak earlier in the day, and just a perfect day for the left fielder.
And another great day by Timo Becerra, who digs in. 2 for 3. The first pitch that he will look at is a big swing and a miss on a fastball low and outside from Legurnick. Legurnick, just 6 2/3 innings pitched this past season at Clemson, as you mentioned, Alex. Was called upon after a month's hiatus to pitch in the regional against Wake Forest on May 11th. His previous start before then was in April, as it's a broken bat. Ground ball back to Legurnick. He throws back to second for 1, and the relay to first is in time to complete the double play on Timo Becerra. So a nice job by Legurnick there to not pay too much attention to the second half of Becerra's bat that was flared down the third base line. Was able to regain his focus and get that double play.
Legurnick just sawed off Becerra. The bat went flying, but it was a dribbler back to him, and a light toss over to second base, but had to make the relay quick to double up Becerra, but a nice turn by the Bourne Braves middle infield.
Legurnick throws, and it's a swing and a miss from Jaron Advincula. Starts him out 0-1, chasing after a low and outside slider. So Advincula also a great day at the plate, batting in the 8th spot today. The 1-0 pitch is hit hard on the ground towards shortstop, right at Clay Grady, though, who backhands it and throws to first. And it's just barely in time. As Advincula was charging up that first base line, he thought he was safe, but instead will be the 3rd out of this top of the 9th inning. So the Cats still leading 7-3, 3 outs to go for the Braves when we return here on the Kettleers Radio Network.
Since 1980, the O'Rourke family has been catering Cape Cod clam bakes, making your events delicious and memorable. Founded by Jake O'Rourke, Jake's Clam Bakes has become a beloved tradition, now carried on by his son, Dan. Choose from our menu options, and on the day of your clam bake, their crew will come to your site and steam a fresh, mouth-watering clam bake just for you. It's that easy. Call us at 833-252-6285 or visit our new takeout location at Building 6 on 3821 Route 28 in Marston's Mills. Email us at dan@jakesclambakes.com with your event details, number of guests, date, time, location, and any special requests like a raw bar, homemade desserts, or kids menu. Not catering? Try their takeout menu featuring lobster rolls, smash burgers, salads, sandwiches, and a smoothie bar. Jake's Clam Bakes, making Cape Cod gatherings unforgettable.
Coastal Rentals is the place to go for professional landscape and construction equipment. Whether you need tools and equipment for commercial use or for your own projects, Coastal Rentals has what you need. Purchasing gear is also available. Check out Coastal Rentals today.
Bottom of the 9th inning, Cotuit leading by 4. Jacob Schaefer is back on the mound for his 2nd inning of work. He will face Garrett Michelle, and 7, 8, and 9 in the Bourne lineup. in the bottom of the ninth. The first pitch is a slider low and inside that backs up Michelle off the plate, and the lefty is ahead in the count 1-0. Coming off of a season at Virginia Tech, Michelle returning to the Braves this summer as the next pitch is up high, 2-0. Playing for the Braves in 2023, a .243 hitter. And a short amount of time for Virginia Tech this season as he takes a strike one low, 2-1. Suffered a broken wrist on March 1st and missed the rest of the season from there, but got off to a hot start. Was 14 for 35 with 4 homers. As the 2-1 pitch, hammered on the ground towards third base. Sliding stab by Naraki. His throw to first is in time. It draws Tanner Thatch up that first base line, but he is able to gather it and receive out number 1 to start off this bottom of the ninth.
And a nice stab by Naraki at third base, but an even better play by Thatch over at first base using his 6'4" frame to stay on the bag and stretch all the way out for the first out of the inning.
Infield shifted to the pull side for the right-handed swinging Matthew Gravlin. He takes a fastball down low, 0-1. Naraki just made that play. He stands 3 feet or 5 feet off the line at third. Cerny at medium depth short, as well as Advincula at second and Thatch at first. The 0-1 pitch. Hit hard down the right field line, but it'll get into foul territory, 0-2 the count. So Jacob Schaefer finishing up what Michael Ebner started, as this Kettleers bullpen has not allowed a single hit today. Bourne's last hit coming in the bottom of the 4th inning off of Chris Stanfield's bat, as the next pitch misses down low, 1-2 from Schaefer to Gravlin. Lights are on as the skies continue to darken over Doran Park. The 1-2 pitch is fanned at and missed, strike 3. Second of the day for Jacob Schaefer, 8th on the season, and the Bravos are down to their final out.
Masterful work from Schaefer there, just getting Gravlin well out in front. See, strikes out for the second time in as many at-bats here, and they're down to their final out here at Doran Park.
Schaefer comes set with the brown glove just in front of his belt and dials in a first pitch fastball, strike 1 to Stanfield. So Schaefer was in at the end of that ball game in late August, the last Kets game here at Doran Park. The 1-0 pitch to Stanfield is off the end of his bat and rolled towards the Kets dugout, 1-1. So Schaefer enters that game after Cotuit gave up that 5-1 lead in the 8th inning. Bourne brought the score back to 5-5. Jacob Schaefer was the man to pitch for the Kets in the 10th inning, and he led up the game-winning sacrifice fly to Josh Kuroda-Grauer, and now he picks up the win here in the bottom of the 9th inning with another strikeout on Chris Stanfield. Closes out the game for the Kettleers. A save for him as they win it 7-3 at Bourne for the first time this season. So Schaefer, that must feel good for him. A redemption effort against the Bourne Braves to close out this ball game. It was Thatcher Hurd to start off this game, though, for the Kets. He went 3 2/3 innings, gave up 3 runs, 1 of which was earned. He gave up 3 hits, 2 walks, and 1 strikeout before Michael Ebner pitched 3 1/3 scoreless innings, and it was Jacob Schaefer's game from there. A 7-3 win for the Kettleers, and they improve to 8-4 on the season.
Excellent work by the Cotuit bullpen today. They ate up 5 1/3 innings pitched and only allowed 2 base runners over that stretch. They struck out 6 hitters, and Jacob Schaefer picking right up where Michael Ebner left off. Goes 2 innings, strikes out 4. There's 24 pitches, 16 strikes, and that's exactly what you want to see out of your bullpen. It was a rough start for Thatcher Hurd, but he battled back, only allowed 1 earned run. But this Cotuit offense struggled out of the gate, was blank through the first 3 innings, but you saw the bats come alive. They put up 3 in the 4th inning, and then, of course, it was that 3-run 6th inning that really made the difference, Joe.
Yeah, it was Cotuit pitching, giving up a run in the bottom of the 1st inning, a run in the bottom of the 2nd inning, but then blanking the Braves from there. And just another great performance from this bullpen, who continues to keep their arms fresh moving in along this long stretch where the Kettleers have just 1 day off in 13 days.
That's exactly right, and the less arms that you could use, the better. And today, Cotuit only using 2 arms out of that bullpen, and when you're playing 6 games in 6 days and if you're looking out further, 12 games in 13 days, you need to get big contributions out of guys out of your bullpen, and Ebner and Schaefer did that today for the Kettleers.
Absolutely, and another great bullpen performance. A good start from Thatcher Hurd, who worked through some adversity early on in that start, but was able to work through that and send it to the bullpen as Bourne had just 3 runs on the board in the Cotuit offense that has been dominant in the last 6 innings of ball games. They do that more again tonight with all 7 of their runs coming after the 4th inning of play. So one final question for you, Alex. How do they keep things going into tomorrow against Wareham?
Well, I think offensively speaking, Cotuit got contributions from the bottom of their lineup. The first 4 hitters in their lineup went a combined 1 for 15. The bottom, Joe, 5 through 9, 10 for 21, and they were driving in runs, and that really made the difference. You saw Brandon Compton, he went 2 for 3, brought in a run. Jaron Avincula, of course, had the big double. He was 2 for 5 with an RBI, and of course, Matt Klein, 2 for 3 with 2 RBI. So you're getting contributions up and down your lineup, and anytime you can hit as well as the Kettleers did, scored 7 runs on 11 hits, and not give up a base hit after the 4th inning, usually you're going to end up winning those ball games.
That's true, and it reigns true tonight for the Kettleers. They score 7 runs on 11 hits. They record 2 errors, still win the ball game. The Braves, 3 runs on 3 hits and 1 error, no hits after the bottom of the 4th inning for Bourne. So that's going to do it for our coverage of Game 12 of the Cape Cod Baseball League season as Cotuit improves to 8-4 on the season. Bourne falls back to 3-8 on their year. So be sure to catch up with Adele Huffman, who is joined by Cody Colden on tonight's post-game show from Doran Park. But that's going to do it for Adele Huffman, our sideline reporter, for myself, Joe Pratt, my broadcast partner, Alex Rocco, and our production crew, Cam Christie and Jimmy Shantulis. Thank you for spending a little bit of your Friday night with us. Cotuit wins it 7-3, and we'll talk to you tomorrow from Lowell Park as the Kettleers take on the Gatemen at 5.